The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. It is August 22nd. No, it's not. It's August 29th. We are live to tape, episode 529. Today, lukewarm war. Basil has made contact. We'll get into that in a second. My name is Gonz, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ, a.k.a. the Cabana Boy, live from California. Here to serve you a podcast that brings you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events and today's emergent phenomenon, lukewarm. Yeah, lukewarm. Not hot, not cold, right? The reason is that that's kind of what we're in right now in terms of the world affairs. And I don't know, my brain does weird things. I was just thinking about climate change and global warming and all this, all the stuff. It's hot. It's real hot. It's drying out areas. There's heat waves everywhere. And then at the same time, we're in this sort of worldwide Cold War 2.0. You know, there's the energy crisis, monetary crisis, there's the media, psychological warfare, there's the massive proxy war going on. It's a big Cold War. Of course, there's physical altercations, but, you know, when you mix the really hot climate and the really interesting second phase of the Cold War, you get a lukewarm war. That's how my brain works. Weird. I know. But we're here. We're going solo again. I say we, it's weird. I am going solo again today, and but I do have good news because Basil finally reached out. He had connection to some kind of internet forum there. And so without further ado, I'm just going to play the first, it's about 13 minutes or something of Basil walking around. It's not video, it's just audio. So, you know, for people watching, I got some photos and stuff from Burning Man 2022, not from Basil. They're just stuff I found on the internet. So credit to those who, sourced the pictures there. But in any case, let me get right to it because this is a little bit of a longer report, but you'll get a feel. You'll feel like you're walking the desert at Black Rock City. So here we go. Without further ado, here's Basil from Burning Man.
Hey everybody, this is your best buddy Basil. You may hear behind me the relentless, monotonous march of time that is the Burning Man late night, small tent DJ sets. I am currently walking toward the zone of internet, the place where I will be able to send this message to you. I have recorded multiple messages, multiple things since I've been here, but those will air later. Here's the thing, folks. This has been a complete disaster, but in like a fun way. You know how like a lot of things in the Bible, they look like they're a complete disaster for like a very long time, and then suddenly it all makes sense. Well, I'm just currently waiting for the part where it all makes sense. Day one, didn't make it. Planning on being here Sunday. Unfortunate series of events concerning my vehicle and several vehicle-related incidents made it so I did not arrive here on the playa in the desert until Monday morning at about 4 a.m. Yes, the sun was rising, and it was a very interesting moment. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you a story that includes lots of seeming disasters, but let me warn you, or perhaps relieve you, that each one of these disasters ends in something I think we can all agree is a positive note. Another note, I am now walking so far. There's so much walking. My neck hurts, my back hurts. I'm an old man who does a podcast. So if I sound out of breath, that is the case. I will also be walking by lots of camps and strange art projects. I think that's the word we're supposed to use, that have lots of different noises coming from them. Somebody just rolled up next to me on an electric bicycle, got off that bicycle. I thought they were looking for a confrontation with me. That was weird. I am now walking away. It does not seem like I was their target for attention. Now I'm walking by a generator. So exciting. So, first big whoopsie doodles. Problem with the old vehicle. The old solenoid. I stopped at a gas station, one of these gas stations way out there in the desert. On the way to Burning Man, they make about 99% of their hard-earned dollars during the Burning Man times. And stopped there, get some gas. Car wouldn't start back up. Trapped, way out in the desert. In a admittedly unfriendly situation where, not because the small town folk on the way out to Burning Man are not grateful for the business, is that when your vehicle gets stuck in the gas station, you are now holding up the line. That brings them, I don't know, let's call it $100 million per year. I don't know. So that was a big problem. Got threatened by a man in a very shiny vest that he was going to tow me. And this starts the first story in a pattern of disastrous events that end in some sort of cosmic benefit that is bigger than anything I could possibly comprehend. The man in the shiny jacket, very mad, very mad that I was in his way, blocking the rest of his customers. Slammed on my car door many times to show me just how emphatically he wanted me to move. I did end up moving, but not until after. I ran into several individuals offering to help me push the vehicle, check the vehicle, fix the vehicle, while the man in the shiny vest was threatening to call the tow truck. Pretty sure he did. But pretty much every single person in that encounter would ask me how many Burning Men I've been to and why I was going. Some version of those two questions. And I got to tell them in a natural way, which is rare for a podcaster, as our medium of expression is inherently unnatural. But I got to tell them in a natural way that this is my third Burning Man, and I'm only able to come out here because of the people who support the podcast. Now, in my regular life, outside of Burning Man, regular life, if I tell somebody that I do a podcast, they could not care any less. I might as well have told them that I am a human being with hair. No further questions, no interest whatsoever. What a beautiful world we live in. But in these situations, people actually are interested, which is a novel idea for me, novel experience at least. And man in the shiny vest was walking towards me, and he said, I'm going to call the tow truck in 10 minutes. And I was there for 10 minutes, and I was trying to fix the car. It was not going well. And I had nothing left to do but to pray and say, Lord, oh, please, I am so close. I am so close to this thing. Look, if you did not want me to come here, if this was not part of the plan, if I don't have something to do here, that's fine. I understand. Drastic measure making me break down right here, right before the entrance. But I get it. If I'm not supposed to go, I'll get the message. And the man in the shiny vest came up, knocked on the door. He says, I'm calling. His phone, he showed me his phone. The phone was ringing, was dialing a number. I said, okay. I rolled down the thing. And He told the tow truck to come there. Looks like something he does all the time, apparently. And then he asked me those two questions. Whoops, sorry. I almost got hit by two bikes. Totally normal situation. He asked me the same questions. Now, I thought this was an angry man who was just sort of earning his living, working. But apparently, he cares very much about the Burning Man thing. And he asked me, how many have I gone to? Why do I come? I said 3. And I said, well, I do a podcast. I'm a Christian. I'm very interested in the effects that specifically Burning Man, but transformative events as a whole have on the world and the future of society and humanity and what that means, not just for our lives in a practical sense, but what that means for our lives in a spiritual sense. And boy, oh boy, folks, did this guy have something to say. Now, I tried to record parts of this conversation, but it was a little strange. The situation was weird. I'm not sure if I actually caught it. Right now I'm recording on my phone, which is very easy, and also probably why the audio is not very good. But I tried to record it on my mobile podcasting rig, which takes a lot more time to set up. It's a long story. I don't know if I have that conversation, but this angry man in the vest who was about to tow me away and ruin the whole thing the second I opened up to him about the podcast, not just the podcast, but what we think about, talk about in the context of the creator of the universe and things like that. These are special little keywords, by the way, if anybody's out there, Christian keywords that will make people, I don't know, open up to you, even if they're not very interested in the... Yes? Hold on. Internet.
Somebody told me it's very close.
9:15 on this road.
So I just going
that way. Just keep going that way. You betcha. Look at that. I know where the internet is now. It wasn't easy. Okay, so there was that story. There's a whole beautiful thing. The Lord's doing great stuff. There's been multiple other disasters insurmountably thrown in my path that I will share with everybody. This note is very long. So I want to say this. I am now, it is 1 o'clock, Tuesday morning. This is the first time I've been able to send anything out of this desert, of this whole thing. I will be sending more messages. I was hoping that the Starlink, Elon sent me a little robot. I have a Starlink in hopes that I would be able to do the show live Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That obviously is not going very well. I don't know if it will happen. I spent literally all today, Tuesday, all day. It's got to be 18 hours now. I've been going from place to place, talking to people, trying to set up my Starlink, sitting there, trying to set it up. It's not working. I finally, just about 45 minutes ago, met somebody who has their Starlink set up, and I have an appointment with them to try to get mine set up. We'll see what happens. But the promise of easy access Wi-Fi anywhere in the world, apparently it's not working out for me. The one guy that it doesn't work for. Surprise, surprise. I don't know. We'll blame it on the lizard people. What else are we gonna do? So, everybody, thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for supporting this mission. I continue to struggle. I mean, this is serious triage, folks. The one story that I told you is just scratching the surface. There's literally been 3 other of those situations that threaten to end the well-being of your best buddy here at Burning Man. But each and every one of those really has ended in, I don't know, just a really I wanted to say miraculous, but it's just been a really incredible opportunity to just let God put in front of me what he is. I don't know. What's that saying? God tells his funniest jokes to his silliest clowns. That's me, folks. I'm here. I will continue to try to get a live link up to the show. I would really love to do a live show. But until that happens, I'll continue to send these types of messages to Gons. This one is extremely long. I apologize. And I will put some more precise content in the future messages. All right, everybody. God bless you. Please pray for me. Please. Look, I'm here to do whatever I'm called to do. But it doesn't have to be so hard. Does it? Does it have to be this hard? Does it have to be this dusty?
Producers, assemble!
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Hey guys, know what day it is? It's Wednesday. It's time for the Canary Cry News Talk. Yeehaw!
It is Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday. It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday, my dudes.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm out of breath just listening to Basil walk around Black Rock City. Yeah, it's a feature that comes with every report from Burning Man. You're just, I don't know if you've seen pictures of the place, but it's a huge flat desert, and you're literally walking around. There's dust in the air. You can hear the snot. You can hear the people just bumping in. I'm again never been there. No interest in going. Not my calling, I don't think. But some parts of the body called to go there, and maybe it's someone like Basil because he can physically withstand the environment, but also spiritually. And obviously. Prayers continue for him, and we have a longer report from Basil that I'll play later on. But in the meantime, just a quick note from the personal life here. This is kind of what we do at the top of the show sometimes. Actually, every episode we do this, but it is of interest. The city that I'm in, the local area that I'm in, it's the suburbs of LA. It's kind of near the beach. It's pretty laid back. It's low on crime. Or used to be anyway. It's really turning bad, which is, of course, expected. And, I've had many people tell me to get out of California for many years, and that's totally understandable. But it just kind of happened all at the same time in terms of changes. Or sort of temperament in the, I don't know how to describe this. Not the temperament, but I'll just tell you what happened. So, as you know, I go to a really local Lutheran church, older congregation, small congregation. I just like it. It's very traditional. It's low key, but they're not super closed off to different crazy people like me. But there is a family that goes there whose the dad is an FBI. I don't think he's an agent. I think he just works at the FBI. And I've talked about him before, about his opinions about the situation with the FBI in general and things like that, and how he always talks about it's just a top small percentage that's really the problem. But anyway, so on Sunday after church, he came up to me. We were chatting, and then he says, "Hey, can you help out and at least go through this training?" With a group of us that are coming together at the church here, just some training for some emergency stuff that may happen at the church. And this comes a few weeks, or actually probably a few months now, after another church locally got shot up with just some guy put chains on the door, went into the church, had a gun, and started to try to go off on people. I think one person died in that occasion that was near my house, and actually the pastor and everybody just tackled this guy. They threw a chair at him, I think was the report, and basically locked that guy down. So Yeah, it doesn't make me feel good with in terms of like, wait, what are we doing? Like, why do I need to know all the protocol? So that was strange. Same day, go to my neighborhood. There's a lovely couple that lives in our neighborhood walking around passing out these flyers and saying, hey, we want to put together a neighborhood watch, and just to kind of get the sheriff locally to support us because there's a house in the neighborhood that is dealing drugs. And so, oh, okay. And then I hear a little bit more about what's going on. And then it clicks. You know what? I've seen some stuff in my neighborhood. People passed out, that kind of thing. It's like, okay, it makes sense now what might be going on. So, no surprises there as California gets worse and worse. But anyway, as much as we ask for prayer for Basil, please pray for me and my family to stay safe in our neighborhood. It's a nice little neighborhood, lots of families, lots of young people, and it's a small little humble kind of apartment complex kind of place. So not much going on in terms of wild things other than little children running around. So for a house to have a pretty, I think it's got to be some hard drugs, because they found one of the guys passed out in the pool bathroom with some paraphernalia, is what we were told, and stuff like that. So anyway, good times. Thanks, Newsom. Lovely decisions you've made in this country, or not this country, this state. Well, this country too, but the state in particular. But that's it. I just wanted to mention that because it is a little bit troubling that it all kind of happened in one day. That was the thing that got me. It's all in the same day. This isn't something that happened over a course of a week or something. Same day, church in the morning, get asked to be part of the security training to just in case anything happens at the church, and then that evening neighborhood watch for the drug dealer in our neighborhood. So anyway, there's that. It is Wednesday, trying to get through today. I got a hard out today, so try to get through stuff as quickly as possible. But before we do, there are some executive producers to thank.
Executive producers.
So this podcast is free, will always be free. And by the way, I got a note back from the Rockfin guy that we've been trying to contact, and I think we'll be able to start publishing on Rockfin as well. So we'll figure that out as we go. But one of the things that they kept saying was like, hey, the people that are on Rockfin do best when they have exclusive content. And, it's not something we're interested in doing, putting stuff behind a paywall. We've done a little bit of that in the past, but I think it's better that we just leave everything out there for free. And that's not possible without some kind of financial support to keep this show going. And, that doesn't happen without your support, the listeners. And those listeners we call producers, because that's just kind of how it works. If you financially support a show, you are a producer of that show. And we specifically thank, in this little segment here, executive producers. Those are people that have come in with $100 or more for the episode. And we'd like to start here with Amanda M. Thank you, Amanda M. Nice round number. And has a note here. May God bless you at Burning Man. This is for the Burning Man mission. Yeah, so more prayers and financial support from Amanda M., executive producer. Thank you very much.
Where'd you find this?
And we have one more executive producer. It's actually a makeup from last Friday, but it still, I think, makes sense. Where the accounting back room is just full of, I don't know. I was going to say monkeys, but I don't know. That's supposed to be offensive or something, right? Nowadays. So, yeah, I don't know. Robot cows in the back room. So I didn't really get the kind of information I need. So we're making it up. Lottie. Thank you very much. Lottie comes in with $175.33.
Illuminatus!
And as a note here, take those beautiful feet of yours, Romans 10:15, shod in Birkenstocks of peace, straight to Burning Man. Report back on what the Lord shows you. Makes sense. He would send his firefighters to this event. So thank you very much, Lottie. And yes, I think based on what we've heard so far, this is something that Basil is experiencing already, despite the arrows from the enemy. So thank you, Lottie.
Where'd you find this?
And we'll get to some meetup reports and stuff a little bit later. But for now, let's just get into some stories because, I was going to do some political stuff, but I feel like a lot of people are doing the politic thing as we get closer to the midterm election. And so I'm hoping that shows like this provide a little bit of relief from all of that chaos, right? It was just pretty chaotic, obviously, with the Trump and Mar-a-Lago and the FBI and da-da-da. So instead, we're going to start with the Flippy update.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
Yep, it's time for the Flippy update. Flippy is the colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy to examine how the robots are taking over everything and how there's nothing we can do about it. But how Bible prophecy foretold of such days, which brings us closer to the return of Jesus. I like putting my spin on this. I'm enjoying adding the little sprinkles into Basil's little thing. Today, we have a story from spectrum.IEEE.org. And I thought this was interesting because we've done Flippy updates for years now. And it's rare that we talk about the origins of the robot arm. But this article came out on August 30th, 2020. So I thought I'd do a little rundown just to get a feel for where all of this started. And the headline here is, in 1961, the first robot arm punched in. The era of industrial robots began with Unimate at a GM plant in Trenton. Here's what it says. When they met at a cocktail party in 1956. Oh, 1956 cocktail party. Sounds so innocent compared to what we see now. George Duvall and Joseph Engelberger instantly bonded over their love of science fiction, happily chatting about Isaac Asimov and his theories on robotics. Then the conversation turned more serious. 2 years earlier, Duvall had filed a patent for a general-purpose manipulator for performing repetitive tasks, and he was looking for a financial backer. Engelberger was curious about how to apply flexible machines for factory automation. By the end of the evening, a plan was in motion that would change the world of manufacturing. Ooh, change the world. Duvall and Engelberger seemed an unlikely pair. Duvall was an inventor and entrepreneur who had founded several companies to commercialize his various inventions. After graduating from high school in 1932, he had started United Cinephone. Ooh, he started it in 1933, maybe? Huh? To improve sound quality on the new talking motion pictures. Oh, see how innocent they were? It's not TV. It's not TikTok videos. It was talking motion pictures. He quickly moved on to other inventions, including the Phantom Doorman, an automated door opening system, a proximity-controlled laundry press, the patent for which was withheld by the U.S. government through World War II, and the Speedy Weenie, a vending machine that dispensed hot dogs cooked by microwaves. Wow, that Speedy Weenie. Meanwhile, Engelberger was pursuing a more traditional corporate career. He had earned a bachelor's degree in physics in 1946 and a master's in electrical engineering in 1949, both from Columbia University. When he met Duvall, he was working as an engineer for Manning, Maxwell, and Moore, a company that specialized in safety valves, pressure gauges, and other industrial control equipment. But that soon changed. Man, they're really good with these last sentences that are so dramatic. Shortly after the cocktail party, the two men founded Unimation. Hold on. He's at a cocktail party and he's just graduated high school? He either graduated high school late or there was no, I guess, different time. So yes, after the cocktail party, the two men founded Unimation. The name portmanteau of universal and automation, which Duvall had coined when filing his patent. The pair needed funding. A year later, Engelberger founded Consolidated Controls Corp. in an attempt to keep his former team from Manning, Maxwell, and Moore together. After MM&M liquidated the aerospace division that Engelberger had led, Engelberger then convinced Norman Schaffler, CEO of Condec Corp., a parent company of Consolidated Consolidated Controls to finance the development of Duvall's invention. Condec eventually purchased Unimation in 1960 and bought Duvall's patent when it was finally issued the next year. While Duvall's patent was pending, a team of 6 men set out to turn his idea into a reality. They decided initially to build the mechanical arm with 5 degrees of freedom. This later evolved into a 6-axis machine. I wonder if it had 6 fingers too, that emulated the human shoulder, elbow, and wrist. Yeah, probably not. It had a self-contained hydraulic supply operating at 6.9 megapascals, 1,000 pounds per square inch. The men had to invent both the programming controls and memory systems, as well as the digital optical encoders for determining shaft position. Weighing in at about 1,360 kilograms, it's about 3,000 pounds. The prototype was a beast, but it could pick up parts of up to 100 pounds. Later models could handle objects 5 times as heavy. The Unimate was both squatter and wider than the average worker, meaning 1.6 meters high, 1.2 meters wide, and 1.5 meters deep. And it shows a video here from the Henry Ford in Dearborn, Michigan. And I gotta tell you, the robot arm is pretty remarkable when you consider where we are today. The Unimation is just a ginormous arm thing that it does look like it's from the 60s, so yeah, no surprises. But there's some photos of it in action. But yeah, this thing was dangerous. I'm sure it could take out an entire kitchen of people. If this was the FLIPPY in the kitchens now. Now it's much more sleek, it's smaller, its range of motion isn't as intense. But yeah, clearly they had a lot of this figured out by the 1960s. The article continues, although programmable, the original Unimate did not have a programming language. Instead, the user would move the machine head to the desired location and a position detector would record the spot. The user would repeat this process to record a sequence of events that the Unimate could play back. When Unimate acquired Victor Scheinman's Vicarm robot, it also acquired the robot's programming language, VAL. Beginning in 1973, VAL became a part of Unimation's industrial robots. Goes on here. There's a couple more things to mention. I thought I had some stuff highlighted. I don't know if they disappeared. I'm going to keep going. Oh, there's a photo here of the... You know, if you didn't know what it was, the Unimate arm looks kind of like a blast. You know those stationed blasters on Star Wars? Like on the Death Star? That's kind of what it looks like. It's got a big old arm thing. It's and then it's a little headpiece that spins around. Okay, where does it say? 1970, Unimation expanded into human-scale robotic arms when it acquired Vicarm, which it rebranded the Programmable Universal Machine for Assembly, or Puma. The company worked with General Motors to develop Puma for light assembly work. Goes on here. In 1983, Condec sold Unimation to Western Electric for $107 million. And then, although the Unimate debuted in the United States, it built its reputation in Japan and helped propel the use of industrial robots there. By the mid-1980s, Japan had become a robot kingdom, boasting nearly 70% of all the robots in the world. Robots have since spread across the globe, or pancake, whatever you believe it is, and transformed many industries. But the spark was a chance conversation over cocktails. And we always talk about why. Basil always had that question: why is Japan the bedrock of robots? Well, little did we know that it was from a robot arm. It was the seed was planted in Japan from the OG FLIPPY. So again, we don't plan these things. We don't know all the research before we dive into a topic, but we seem to be asking the right questions when it comes to the origins. And there's a photo here of Joseph Engelberger and George Duvall, the two who started the vision of the robot arm and made it a reality. And they're just a couple of fellas. Nice suit, one in a bow tie, one in a regular suit and tie, handkerchief in pocket, and the image has a robot arm serving them a drink. and just very indicative of the source, the origin of all of this. It's pretty wild to think that it's just over cocktail, over just in a bar where the best ideas are sparked, I guess, but not everybody executes on, right? So, they must have had more than just financial assistance. They probably had some kind of spiritual assistance. And that's something that we've been tracking as well, because well before all of this, what was this, what year was it? I'm sorry, 1949. I guess it was right about the, 1993, okay, hold on, when did this happen? 1956. So, if we're thinking, I'm thinking about the Norbert Weiner book, oh gosh, what was it called? Can't remember off the top of my head. I'm going to have to look it up. But Norbert Weiner, he is considered the father of cybernetics, and he was writing around that same time talking about automation and loops and everything else. Yeah, so he was born in 1894, and he passed away in 1964. So let's see, Norbert Weiner, The Human Use of Human Beings, Cybernetics. Is that his first book? Yeah, I don't have it all in front of me here. But let's see. Let me try to find it. That says 1980. That must be a republish. Anyway, oh yes, this is the one that was really interesting by Norbert Weiner, especially the cover. The book is titled God and Gollum Inc., a comment on certain points where cybernetics... I can't read the rest of that title. Oh man, 1966. So, okay, after the fact, after the meeting took place. In any case, it's all in the same era, post World War II, Reconstruction. There's a lot to be discussed there in terms of the origins. But there you go. That's our Flippy update for today. Just a little origin story, and we'll have to remind Basil to check this segment out, because I feel like we're going to reference this more often as more Flippy updates. We continue to do Flippy updates anyway, moving forward. So there you go, Flippy update for today.
Flippy 1133, uploading binary code. Execute order 666. Infiltrate humans with extreme kindness. Then exterminate all humans with prejudice. Exterminate.
Russia, Russia, Russia.
All about Russia, and also Dugina.
Fiery explosion just outside Moscow. Russian investigators say a car bomb killed the daughter of a close Russian ally in a contract killing. Daria Dugin, the daughter of Alexander Dugin, who's free, died in the blast. Who's free?
We have a story from the DailyBeast. The headline here: The mystery man vowing Putin's friends will get blown up soon. Oh, okay. Let's real quick here. The DailyBeast. Looks like the DailyBeast is owned by Barry Diller's internet media company, IAC Interactive Corp, and has received most of its funding from the company. DailyBeast began without advertising, and has gradually introduced ads since early 2009. Okay, so there you go. See, we talk about the reason for value, and that's why. The Daily Beast probably started as just, hey, we want it. Well, maybe not. There was a pretty big internet media company that started it, boasting nearly 34 million views per month. But as soon as corporate money comes in, it changes the way you report things. It changes the things you can talk about and not talk about. And, of course, keeping that in mind, we have this Daily Beast story here that serves as propaganda. It was written by Anna Nemtsova. And it goes like this. Almost a decade after he was exiled, a former Russian statesman has emerged from the shadows this week as a new thorn in the side of the Kremlin. Ooh. Thorn in the side. Man, biblical references. In a shocking televised address from Kyiv last week, 47-year-old ex-politician Ilya Ponomarev debuted as a self-described messenger. Yeah, messenger, like angel, for what he says is an underground resistance movement operating in Russia, the National Republican Army. The National Republican Army. Ponomarev read the group's so-called manifesto on a Kyiv-based TV channel he founded 7 months ago. Convenient. 7 months ago, he founds a channel and then war breaks out. That's not good timing whatsoever. It's just coincidence, right? Maybe he started it because of the war. It's called February Morning, the channel, so maybe that's why. In which they claimed responsibility for the car bomb that killed Daria Dugina, the daughter of Russian nationalist and staunch Putin ally Alexander Dugin. I thought that was interesting. So this guy here, this is Ilya Ponomarev, is reporting that this group inside Russia, this underground resistance group, claimed the death of Daria Dugina. Interesting. Quote, the activists chose a sacred figure of Russian fascism, and that's not up to me to criticize the target of their deed. Plausible deniability, Ponomarev said in an interview with the DailyBeast. Oh, they're getting exclusives from this guy. Whoa. Claiming that he's been in contact with the resistance fighters since April. Besides passing their messages along, Ponomarev said his, quote, job is to provide commercial support to the group as needed. Now, why would that be? Why couldn't they just give us the facts? He needs commercial support. Just questions. I'm just asking questions, folks. Susan, those are just questions. Ponomarev's connection to the alleged partisan movement is murky, and he hasn't been able to provide evidence that they had a role in the attack on Dugina. Hey, thank you, DailyBeast, for giving us that, at least. But that hasn't stopped a wave of press coverage spotlighting Ponomarev's allegations and fueling skepticism that Russian citizens could be behind the car bomb incident. I have that sentence highlighted because, the DailyBeast is its own, media outlet, right? 34 million viewers a month. So that hasn't stopped a wave of press coverage spotlighting his allegations. Okay, yeah, you're part of it. DailyBeast, you're doing it right here in this article. Just ways to think about, how to read these articles. Quote, we have been receiving videos and text messages from the Russian rebels about their actions nearly every day, Ponomarev said. Quote, they throw Molotov cocktails at military draft offices, blow up railroads, pop tires of cars with Russian pro-war symbols, and attack activists who were collecting money for the war. Whoa, okay, so they're burning military draft offices, or at least throwing Molotov cocktails in there, blowing up railroads. Now, here's the thing that I want to point out as well in this article. Again, this is DailyBeast. Right under the sentence talking about a Molotov cocktail, because what do you think of when you think of Molotov cocktail? You think fire, right? So there's a photo underneath that sentence, and it's of a passport that is lit on fire on kind of like just a little concrete slab there with a fence. And the caption for this photo is a Russian passport is engulfed in flames, started by Ilya Ponomarev, a former member of the State Duma who immigrated from Russia in 2014. So that guy is burning his Russian passport. But I want you to think about the psychology here of them saying, oh, they're throwing Molotov cocktails, and then immediately posting a picture with a flame. I think this is the kind of thing that makes folks who are not thinking critically about articles to be like, oh man, it must be really bad over there, and they're fighting for the rights of Ukrainians or NATO or whatever it is. Ponomarev's associates at February Morning, Alexei Baranovsky, a former supporter of ultra-far-right organizations in Russia, told the DailyBeast that the media group received messages from the National Republican Army. That's the other thing. I do think it's weird that they're called the National Republican Army. It's an underground army in Russia rebelling against Putin. The National Republican Army. Within an hour of the attack on Dugina in Moscow, he claimed that the group had asked Ponomarev to represent them and share their manifesto, in which they promised that, quote, those who do not resign their power will be destroyed by us. Whoa, that's a crazy threat. And also, don't you think that maybe this could be some either intelligence operators or worse off, higher up elite lizard people factions, sending messages and, I don't know, chats from Telegram and things like that, photos, suggesting that there's a resistance from within. I don't know. It's very strange. Quote, the initiative came from the group. They acted absolutely autonomously. We do not call them terrorists. They are an army of rebels, Baranowski told the Daily Beast. Again, shaping this. They're not terrorists. They're an army of rebels because they're fighting Putin. And that's something Basil's pointed out over and over again, how when it serves the narrative, they're just rebels fighting against the bad guy. But if they don't serve the narrative, they are terrorists. Doesn't matter if they're from another country or in the United States. They are terrorists. He said, this is Baranowski, said that about 10 employees of the channel gathered for a meeting with Ponomarev on Sunday to discuss his address. Quote, he read the statement that we had received and commented on it, end quote. I'll just read this here. Ponomarev first fled Russia in 2014 after being the only member of Russian parliament to vote against the annexation of occupied Crimea. He eventually settled in Kiev, where he became the chief executive of a U.S. investment firm in the oil and gas industry in Ukraine. Maybe he had some conversations with the Biden family. But I don't know that. I'm just throwing that out there. Though without much success. Oh, okay. Maybe he wasn't doing all the things that they wanted him to do. He told the Daily Beast that Russia's invasion of Ukraine is what prompted him to launch his media group, manned exclusively by Russian exiles living in Ukraine. Quote, my war began on that day. End quote. 2, he told the Daily Beast. The Daily Beast completing the sentence for him. And again, it goes into some of the history that we don't need to necessarily get into, and the background story of the troubles there. But yeah, it's very interesting that they would highlight, the Daily Beast here, highlighting the resistance from within, and seeing as these are threats in many ways. If it is in media, if it's being promulgated through a mainstream outlet like this, that the head people of Russia are going to see it and read it and whatever, or get reports on it or whatnot. So it's propaganda from all sides. And, this is just a threat, especially because there is plausible deniability here. It's not this guy who rebelled against Putin before. It's not the U.S. It's not NATO. It's just a group of rebels. It's very Antifa, but kind of flipped around, right? So, I don't know. Just thought it was an interesting one. Meanwhile, in Russia, let's trying to be as balanced as possible here. This is from RT. And this is, again, part of that cold type of war I was talking about. RT.com headline, Russia halts gas deliveries via Nord Stream 1. Okay, so very interesting. The pipeline to Germany has been temporarily shut down due to maintenance. Maintenance. Convenient. The flow of gas to Europe via the Nord Stream 1 Baltic Sea pipeline was suspended due to routine maintenance on Wednesday, Russian company Gazprom has said. The undersea pipeline runs from Vyborg in western Russia to Lubmin in northern Germany. Gazprom said deliveries would be suspended from Wednesday till Saturday. Oh, okay, so it's just 3 days. Or so, 3.5 days. The halt in deliveries takes place as Europe grapples with soaring energy prices amid fears of gas shortages on the continent. Some politicians have expressed concern that Moscow could shut down the supplies entirely in response to the sweeping sanctions imposed on Russia over its military operation in Ukraine. Gazprom previously shut down Nord Stream 1 for 10 days in July, also citing maintenance. The company said the operation of the pipeline was affected by the holdup of a repaired turbine in Canada due to sanctions. Okay, so there you go. They're saying, we're just halting it, but it's just maintenance, but also it's the sanctions, man. The sanctions are really slowing us down. It's causing issues. This is, I'm curious to know how much the halts happened prior to all this chaos. how long was it on for before July when they had to shut it down for 10 days? And then how often are they going to start shutting it down? Because, it's progressive. They're not going to just cut it off, but maintenance. Supply chain causing more maintenance. It's causing issues. It's just a slow rug pull of the pipeline. And because you got to build... You have to build opposing infrastructure, but you also have to create different means to, carry that stuff out. So very propagandistic, I would say, to just continually say that it's just for maintenance. Eventually, it won't be just for maintenance, or it'll be indefinite. We'll turn it back on when we have the supplies, but the sanctions. So interesting, and it serves as a form of warfare. Because, if you can stop the flow of energy into a country that is not supporting your cause, that is a form of warfare. It's not as passive, actually. It's pretty aggressive. But it's not all-out physical warfare, but it is sort of that proxy war they've been talking about. Also interesting in the Russia front are drones.
Drone strikes have saved lives.
Can we shoot them down if over our property?
Drones.
Okay, this is the New York Times, and they have a headline here. The first shipment of Iranian military drones arrives in Russia. All right, Russia's got military drones. Iran delivered to Russia the first batch of 2 types of military drones this month as part of a larger order totaling hundreds of aerial war machines, according to an Iranian advisor to the government and 2 U.S. administration officials who were not authored to speak on the record. So they're not supposed to say anything, except we will say it to New York Times. All right, this is just a clown show. American officials said Russia could deploy the Iranian-made drones in its war against Ukraine to conduct air-to-surface attacks, carry out electronic warfare, and identify targets. Iran has officially said that it would not provide either side of the conflict with military equipment, but has confirmed that a drone deal with Russia was part of a military agreement that predated the invasion of Ukraine. Oh, how convenient. We did this before. We made the deal. We got to follow through with the deal. Who do you think we are, crooks? Over several days in August, Russian transport aircraft loaded the drone equipment in an airfield in Iran and subsequently flew to Russia, according to the 2 U.S. officials. There's a lot of info they're dropping for a couple of U.S. officials who aren't supposed to say anything. But the first shipments of Iranian supplies drones, the American officials said, have had mechanical and technical problems. Oh, interesting. The drone shipment and the mechanical problems was earlier reported in the Washington Post. Iran's military deal with Russia is part of a larger strategy by the Islamic Republic to pivot toward forming strategic economic partnerships with China and security partnerships with Russia. Okay, and it goes into Trump and stuff like that. So the thing to take away here, I think, so far anyway, and won't read the whole thing, is that we have, Iran shipping drones to Russia. We have issues with the actual drones themselves, like technical difficulties. But, this is what we are told. We are told, Iran had a deal with Russia before, so we got to send him some stuff. But where did Iran get those drones? This is the Washington... Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is AP... Yeah, AP News headline. U.S., Russia running into problems with Iran-made drones. So this is a whole article talking about it. Russia has faced several technical problems with Iranian-made drones acquired from Tehran this month for use in its war with Ukraine, according to Biden administration officials. The officials who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss the U.S. intelligence assessment did not detail the quote-unquote numerous failures. They added that the U.S. assesses that the delivery of Mohajer 6 and Shahed series unmanned aerial vehicles over several days this month is likely part of a Russian plan to acquire hundreds of Iranian UAVs. The Associated Press reported last week that Russia had recently obtained hundreds of Iranian drones capable of being used in its war against Ukraine, despite UN warnings to Tehran not to ship them. Russian operators continue to receive training in Iran on how to use these systems, which can conduct air-to-surface attacks, electronic warfare, and targeting on the battlefield in Ukraine, the officials said. So you can tell what parts of these reports... Oops, sorry about that. You can tell what parts of the reports are from the intel operatives here because it's repeated in multiple articles. AP here talking about the systems that can conduct air-to-surface attacks, electronic warfare, and also identification. So some kind of surveillance. Let's see. The White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby, blah, blah, blah. Where's the part where they ran into problems? Okay, here we go. It says the administration officials confirmed details of Iran's supply Russia with drones at the moment, when the White House is also trying to prod Tehran to resume its compliance with the 2015 nuclear deal. The administration last week completed its review of Iran's comments on the European proposal to restart the agreement that was brokered during President Barack Obama's administration and scrapped in 2018 by President Trump. Trump's the reason why. They're having technical difficulties. But I just want to go into the time machine and remind people of some things. This is from... This is from an article that was published by the Atlantic Council. Now, if you remember who the Atlantic Council are, they're part of a group, a think tank, that are trying to establish the Atlanticism or something like that. And, of course, you can relate that to, the lost city of Atlantis and trying to resurrect Atlantis and things like that. But actually, this isn't that old. This is from November 2021. And the article here says, Iran's drones are clones. Now they're being used in multiple conflicts. And in here, it goes into detail. We don't have to get into all of it here, but it goes into the detail of the technology that these drones have, the U.S. drones. And let's see, the excerpt about Iranian drones. So there's an excerpt from a book called Drone Wars, Pioneers, Killing Machines, Artificial Intelligence, and the Battle for the Future by Seth Frantzman. And here's what it says from the book. The battle in the skies over Iran was about possessing the latest intelligence capability. Much like U-2 flights over the Soviet Union in the Cold War, the RQ-170 was supposed to be a game changer. It was supposed to be able to fly up to 50,000 feet and pack numerous sensors into its stealth body. It might be able to sniff for chemicals, a Rand Corporation analyst said. Sentinels had full motion video, FMV, the latest technology being affixed to drones. This video eventually, combined with high definition, HD, when combined with a map that shows where the drone is, can help analysts see potential suspicious activity quickly and combine all the metadata with other sensors. Moving from analog to digital, the integrating it with forces on the ground so that everyone sees the same picture would change the way war is fought. Sentinel was a layer in that quiet revolution. Iran wanted to grab hold of that revolution like a man riding a bull and take advantage of U.S. advances. General Amir Ali Hajizadeh was leading those efforts from 2011 to 2020. He gained the personal blessing of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran. Khamenei believed in the Iranian drone program and its efforts to counter Americans' drone army. Having secured support from Iranian leadership, Hajizadeh pushed Iran to down more U.S. drones, eventually acquiring not only the Sentinel, but also the Predator, Reaper, Scan Eagle 5, and even the Israeli-made Hermes. So, the U.S. is the arms dealer of the world. And if you can't, not legally, if you can't get the weapons into the hands of the alleged enemy on some kind of bureaucratic way, you can get around that. Easy. You fly them up, over your alleged enemy territory, and then you have them shoot them down, or something malfunctions and they fall. And then, all of a sudden, Iran has the technology to build the clones, which is now being reported. I don't know if it's the exact same drones, but, Iran sending Russia drones. Which, by the way, isn't Russia enough of technologically advanced enough to have their own drone technology? Why are they asking Iran for the drones? I find that very interesting. Almost like they're trying to create the factions of the world, the East versus West, World War III, picking teams. Obviously, Iran is part of the China-Russia faction, so don't listen to them. Bunch of crazy Russians and Putinists. But yeah, so, I just find it strange that I have a hard time believing that the U.S. or, the intelligence apparatus, or if you, go even higher up, the sort of, colloquially, the lizard people elite, it'd be hard for me to believe that they're not in charge of creating these teams and then eventually, obviously, pulling off some kind of war. Now, I had another point about that. I'm trying to remember what it was. Multitasking on the show, I tend to forget what points I was going to make. Oh well, maybe it wasn't as important. I remember. It makes me think the advancement in technology that we've had in the 20th century and beyond, all this technology, the explosion of technology, and the 1947 sort of lore, the mythology, the modern mythology of Roswell, very similar. If you put it in the context of these nation struggles, right, between nations and deals and blah blah blah. Iran basically shot these foreign drones down and reverse engineered it to create their own. So and the U.S. is playing sort of the God figure, lowercase g, but they're sort of playing the God figure here. Oh, let's just provide them with the technology, and then no, it fell to the ground. You have a gift. Take the gift, my children, and create your clones, and then give them to the Russians, and then we shall have an excuse to blow you all up. That kind of thing. If you put it in the context of the elite working with the UFO conversation, the same thing can be true from, the elite lizard people or whatever, sort of dropping the technology for humanity to reverse engineer and to eventually enslave. So, thought that was a little rundown that was good for this episode. We usually try to do a Ukraine-Russia thing on Wednesdays because, middle of the week, people are tired. It's hump day, the whole deal. Okay, let's see. We did. Yes. It's a party. Go to canarycry.party. Put it in your URL.
Party time.
Canarycry.party is a website with a tree of links that leads to everything from where to listen to the show, watch the show, produce the show, how to connect with us and the community.
It's the place you wanna be. So say welcome to Canary Cry. Gameplay, Canary Cry, party.
Yes, tons of links there. You can get our text notifications. All you got to do is type Canary and send it to 877-740-3226, and you will be sent a text message right before the show goes live. And also, you got Discord. We got the New World Order Fantasy League. You got ways to become producers. You also have a list of places of where to watch the show live. And again, currently Twitch is still giving us the hand. Not heard from Twitch, but I don't think we're going to hear from Twitch anytime soon. And maybe we'll move over to Rockfin as well. Expand the decentralize the live stream feed so that we can withstand the fiery arrows of the enemy. Also, you can go to a list of valuable resources and find Basil's other podcasts called Ravel with Basil Rosewater and Christopher Ryan Gates, where they talk about society, scripture, and scandal. Did I do that in the right order? Scripture, Society, Scandal, one of those two. And it's a great podcast. Go check it out. And there's that. There's also the archive of the Face Like the Sun channel. It's the Odyssey archive. So it literally takes the videos back from 11 years ago. My first video published on the channel called The Truth Behind Ghost Hunting and onward. And I think Age of Deceit, the original video is there in 15-minute segments, because back then you could only upload 15 minutes at a time. You couldn't upload a whole documentary until you got to a certain level. So you can look for that. But also, as I mentioned in the last episode, some of the Age of Deceit films are not here, and I need to just go ahead and upload it. But I've been having, again, trouble getting that fully uploaded. But if you go to YouTube and type in Age of Deceit 2 or Age of Deceit 3, you should be able to find somebody who's mirrored the video. So try that first before you look for it elsewhere, because there are a bunch of people who have mirrored the documentaries. So there's that. There's also the Canary Cry Clips channel, where some producers, the Clippies, go in there. They clip segment by segment for ease of use and ease of sharing. And it's a resource for anybody who wants to share with friends and family who are not up to par with the way we think around here. And you don't even have to be up to par with that. If you have curiosities about what we think about a topic, or want to see a story that, or a response or opinions on a story that's out there, go there, look for it. And it's just a great way to find things instead of trying to click around on an episode that's 2 hours to 4 hours long or something like that. Okay, before we get back to stuff, we are going to take a quick break and thank some producers.
It's break time! Come on, take a break.
Yes, we're going to take a break. Thanks some producers who help support the show. I wanted to start by thanking our monthly supporters. And I know sometimes it feels like you guys are ignored, but you're not. We try to do... we try to thank some people on every episode, but just to understand people that don't get the shout out all the time, that do support us, subscribe to us, and support us every month. We are eternally grateful for you, and we appreciate the long-term commitment. It means a lot to us. It really does keep us going, and also keep track of your accounting, because you can reach knighthood or damehood and the Canary Cry Roundtable if you get to $1,000 or more, and that can take a while, or you can speed it up, or whatever it is. But just keep track of your own accounting, because we'd like to honor you in that way once you get there. Also, if you are a monthly supporter, you can upgrade that support. It'll also speed up your road to knighthood by going and supporting us through the supply drop. CanaryCrySupplyDrop.com, I believe, is the website. It's very hard to talk and mix and try to find the tab on the screen where I talk about, where it shows the supply drop. Okay, yeah, go to CanaryCrySupplyDrop.com. It'll give you a little portal to sign up, $33.33 a month, and we will drop you some supplies for free as part of our thank you to you. And I think we're going to try to extend the deadline a couple days, because we haven't had Basil to sort of lead the charge in some of the things here. So we may extend the allowance for Q4 until maybe Friday's episode. But some cool things coming in this supply drop for Q4. You have the koozie, the New World Order Fantasy League koozie, so you can drink your healthy beverages inside of a nice sleeve. You also have Sir Dove's hardcover book of art, the Bible verse artwork that we've covered over several episodes on Canary Cry News Talk. You'll get a hard copy. It's a physical copy of that, so you can show it off to friends and family, or just leave it, on the coffee table, or some light viewing in the the toilet area, without Bill Gates snooping around. You also have the Canary Cry News Talk Mixtape Volume 1. Yes, it is a cassette tape. and it's something that will be a collectible, I'm sure. It's going to be awesome to hear your favorite tracks in Volume 1 on tape. Tape has that warmth that you don't get in the digital format, so just keeping that in mind. So there you go. And we have 2 new supply droppers this episode, and I'd like to thank them now. First up, Nicole P. Thank you, Nicole P., for signing up to the supply drop. We appreciate you, and we will be sending out the items at some point in Q4. And we also have Brianna S. Thank you, Brianna S., for signing up for the supply drop as well. So those are the 2 new supply droppers getting in before the deadline, and again, we'll extend it to Friday at the very least. It could extend longer, but I wouldn't recommend counting on that, because there are logistical reasons for putting a cutoff date. So there you go. Thank you to the supply droppers, and wait for that supply drop.
Waiting for supply drop.
All right, let's thank some more producers here coming in. Let's see, over $7.77, but below $100, because that makes you an executive producer, who we already thanked earlier. That being Lottie and Amanda M. We're going to start things off with Sir Morv Knight. Well, I guess it's to be, because it's not technically official yet, but might as well. The soon-to-be Sir Morv, Knight of the Burning Chariots. Oops, wrong button. Thank you very much, Sir Morv. And he comes in with 1111. He's on a 134 episode streak. And he says, happy WMD.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Oh, my sinuses are so clear now. Thank you very much, Sir Morv. Appreciate it. Or soon to be Sir Morv. Appreciate it. Next up, we have Jabri P. Thank you, Jabri P, for $33.33.
Illuminatus!
Jabri P, I'm hoping that's not for the supply drop. If it is, let us know, and then we'll put you on the right list there. But yeah, thank you very much, Jabri P. Didn't see a note. Also, Warrior Chick Chan, 3333.
Illuminatus!
Thank you very much, Warrior Chick Jan. And I don't think she had a note either. Oh, she did respond to something. But yeah, we appreciate the support, Warrior Chick Jan. Not just today, but over the long term. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, next up we have Gabrielle G. Gabrielle comes in with $32.52. And I did not see a note. But there you go. Thank you very much, Gabrielle G. Did I? Oh, I'm doing all these. I'm getting really kind of trigger happy with these buttons over here. I'm sorry about that. Next up, we have Christian N. There we go. Thank you, Christian N. Comes in with $19.71. Has a note here. Hi, Gons and Basil. I hope this makes it in for the month of August. Yep, you got it. Good job winging it alone, Gons, as B is out and about. Love your podcast. Greetings from Norway. Thank you very much, Christian N. Yes, and appreciate you tuning in, even though half the show is missing. But yeah, appreciate the support there. Next up, we have Sir JC, Knight of the Techno Squatch, coming in with 1001.
1001. Amen.
And Sir JC, Knight of the Techno Squatch, I think he's on some kind of streak, but I might have messed up the documentation. Oh, you know what? This is from Monday. So yes, you are on a streak. I don't have the number in front of me. Well, Sir JC, Knight of the Techno Squatch, I will make it up to you on Friday to properly restore the integrity of your streak and everything else. He does have a note. It says, here's to a happy Monday, which is why I said this is a little late. This is from Monday that I missed. Hoping Basil is able to live stream from BlackRock. Thank you very much, Sir JC, Knight of the Techno Squatch. And I believe that answer is probably not the way things are going. But maybe, who knows, if Basil runs into that gentleman or individual who's supposed to help him get the Starlink going, then maybe we'll have something on Friday. Also, another makeup, Sir LX Protocol V2, Knight of the Berean Protocol. Thank you very much. And he is on is that right? He's on a 70 episode streak. I think that's right. Hold on. Yep.
We're going streaking! Come on, everybody, we're going!
And it's possible that he's on a 71 episode streak. Again, message us, Sir LX Protocol V2. Straighten us out. Straighten me out, actually, not us. Me. I'm the one messing this up. Don't put this on Basil. Don't put this on anybody else. It's me. This is my fault. So, but anyway, I appreciate all of you guys. Appreciate you, Sir LX Protocol V2. Next up, we have Sir Darren Knight of the Hungry Pandas. And he is on a 140. Am I doing this right? I don't know. It says 141. Yeah, all right. Sir Darren Knight of the Hungry Pandas, 141? Hold on, I might be messing this up. The problem is I have to pull up a document that archives our other document, and we got a whole system back here. Remember the robot cows plugging away. Uh-oh, do I need to... I'm getting stifled on the Dropbox. They're asking for my birthday. Why do you need to know my birthday, Dropbox? Get off my back. All right, we'll figure it out. Sir Darren Knight of the Hungry Pandas says, Happy Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday, my dudes.
He has continued the note here. Could you play the people don't even read their Bibles anymore jingle?
People don't even read their Bible, for heaven's sakes.
It's been forever and I've missed it. Thanks. Yeah, I think we have played it, just snuck it in there a couple times in prior episodes recently. But it's a good one. It's a good one to kind of remind the situation, especially when we talk about like Christian nationalism or something like that. It's a good one. So there you go. Yeah, thank you very much, Sir Darren Knight of the Hungry Pandas, for reminding us of this lovely ISO.
People don't even read their Bible, for heaven's sakes.
Same guy that said this.
Demonic power.
Love it. I love the organ in the background. I forget the dude's name, but great stuff. Thank you. Next up, we have Say No to Soylent Green Eggs and Ham. Thank you very much. Comes in at $7.77. And as a note, God bless you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. And that does it for the producers of today's show over the amount of $7.77. We'll thank a few more producers a little bit later on. But let us get back to the show. If I can find the proper way to transition. Nope, that's not it. That's Allie's. Nope. Where did it go? I'm trying to wake up. I can't wake up. Oh no, I'm stuck in the dream.
Yes, it's wake up time.
Hey, yo, wake up.
What are we talking about next? Oh yeah, the climate. Oh, the climate.
Since the beginning of time, man has yearned to destroy the sun. I will do the next best thing. Block it out.
Climate change. Climate change.
Mass extinction.
Oh boy. It's hot. Or not. We'll see. Reuters.com. Headline. Biden declares emergency over Mississippi water crisis. Oh boy, this is why you need to have meetups, folks. I'm being 100%. I'm not trying to pitch the meetup thing for Canary Cry News Talk. Literally, this is why you need to do meetups, because you need to make connections with people near you, in your general vicinity, your town, your neighboring town, so that when stuff goes down, you have some resources, or human resources, some people that you can contact and maybe gather together. You know, it's part of the body of Christ. You know, we have to stick together, especially in situations like this. So here we go. The article states, U.S. President Joe Biden's administration approved an emergency declaration over a water crisis in the state of Mississippi and ordered federal assistance late on Tuesday to supplement the state's response. Quote, emergency protective measures, including direct federal assistance, will be provided at 75% federal funding for a period of 90 days, the White House said in a statement late Tuesday. The Biden administration also authorized the Department of Homeland Security, Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, to coordinate all disaster relief efforts in the state, the White House said. Mississippi activated its National Guard on Tuesday to help distribute water to tens of thousands of Jackson residents after a long-troubled treatment plant broke down, leaving most of the state capital without safe running water, possibly for days. Governor Tate Reeves declared a state of emergency for Jackson and surrounding communities, warning the area's 180,000 people to avoid drinking tap water. He also called up the state National Guard to assist in efforts to bring relief to the city, which was battered by record rainfall and flooding over the weekend. Oh, yeah, we got rainfall and flooding, but can't drink the water. Tankers distributed non-potable water, and bottled drinking water was distributed at several sites, the city said. Tankers, huh? Wow. The state truckered in 10 tractor trailers of water on Tuesday and was expecting another 108 trucks in the coming days. State Emergency Management Director Stephen McCraney told reporters the breakdown occurred Monday when floodwaters seeped into the understaffed and poorly maintained O.B. Curtis treatment plant. An emergency team had the plant working at 40% capacity on Tuesday. Senior state health officer Jim Craig said, and a temporary pump was expected to be installed on Wednesday and increased capacity further. But the system was still short of sufficient water pressure to guarantee service worldwide. Officials said they could not estimate how many homes were cut off. The shutdown created havoc for businesses, and Jackson Public Schools, with nearly 2,100 students, were forced to move classes online, as they had done during the coronavirus pandemic. We are so well trained on what to do in an emergency. Let the government step in, let them declare their emergency, roll out the National Guard, everybody go inside, drink soda, and do your classes online. Wow. Supermarket shelves were stripped of bottled water, and police and a cruiser alerted people when supplies ran out at one distribution site in a retail parking lot. Volunteers apologized to people when they had no more water to give, urging them to return on Wednesday starting at 5 a.m. And we got some photos here of the damage from the situation. View of a flooded road near Pearl River following water discharge from the Barnett Reservoir. Quote, "It's a hurtful feeling when you don't have any water, especially when you've got newborn babies," Monica Lachey Bass, a mother of three, said from her car after queuing up her allotment of bottled water. People in Jackson have long complained about their water supply. A pair of winter storms in February 2021 caused most residents in Jackson to briefly lose running water. And a year ago, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency issued an emergency order saying the water supply could contain E. coli, according to Mississippi Today. And it goes on here. I think we get the point. First off, before any kind of analysis or anything like that, the producers are busy, but we're going to call upon them again.
Producers, assemble!
A simple prayer for the people in this general region that they're able to sustain themselves, find water that's clean, that can be drank, and just overall, support them as they go through this, because again, it just feels like it's so. I have a hard time that ever since 2020, just one emergency after another, and specifically, something like this is pertaining to, as we'll get into more details about climate change here. It's so convenient that we have all and it just feels like now that COVID is sort of dying out, they got dials to dial up other things. And they've been trying really hard. They've been building the climate dial for a really long time. And maybe they are finally at the point where they can create climate chaos to implement their agendas further. Because, especially worldwide, it's not just here. That's the one thing that is useful as propaganda when it comes to climate, is that, you can make it kind of happen everywhere. For example, in Pakistan, U.S., this is Reuters, U.S. announces $30 million in support for Pakistan flood response. So yeah, Pakistan dealt with some floods, and hey, the U.S., how much, did they say how much money they gave to Mississippi in that article, that Biden emergency one? Let me just skim it real quick just to see if they did. I'm just curious because, 180,000 people. It's a couple football stadiums worth of people. They called it an emergency, and you got FEMA, and you got the EPA in the past. I'm not seeing a number in the article. But all I would like to say is that maybe, take care of the citizens of our own country before we start sending any millions to another country. But here we go. $30 million to Pakistan in support for the Pakistan flood response, which, hey, you know what? 30 million, that's good. You guys are flooding. Oh, no, we'll give you 30 million. But if you're in a war, hey, that's our jam. That's the United States specialty is war. So if it's a war, we'd send billions and billions and billions. That's how the war machine works. But it's not just Pakistan. It's also Rome. This is MiamiHerald.com. Roman ruins reappear from river in drought-stricken Europe almost 2,000 years later. Now, we covered some of this already. But it's just another example here. The story we covered included this, but there's just another article talking about it in the mainstream media here. Miami Herald talking about that the Roman ruins that appeared that was built in 75 AD. Jesus' time, or around Jesus' time, all of a sudden reappearing because of the droughts, as opposed to the floods and storms in the Mississippi area that caused the water supply to go bad. In certain areas, the drought is causing the water to sink. All right. Also, DailyMail.co.uk, drought exposes first World War training trenches in Newark Field. So, horrors of the trenches exposed by drought. Maze of crisscross lines emerge in sun-scorched English field more than 100 years after Tommy's dug ditches to prepare for going over the top in World War I. The crisscross lines were filmed by a drone that was set up in Newark, Nottinghamshire. Operator Stephen Smith instantly realized the jagged outlines were likely to be training trenches. So we continue to hear just the revealing of some kind of ancient past. With all these problems with climate, it's just funny, it just so happens with the climate dial pumping up. But it's not just the horrors of the trenches, it's the pumpkins. Oh no, and the Brits, this is dailymail.co.uk again. Brits face pumpkin shortages this Halloween after summer of heat waves and droughts. Yeah, so it's affecting the children and their ability to actually carve pumpkins. What do they do? What do the Brits do for Halloween? I actually haven't thought about that. Do they have Halloween? Chat, do you guys know? Is there someone from the UK in the chat right now that can let us know? Are they, do they do Halloween the same way that it's done here? Like commercial, everyone gets dressed up and gets pumped full of sugar. I mean, it is just the most corporate thing ever, right? Buy our costumes of our corporate entities and then eat our poisonous candies. And then you will all develop cancer. And then you will have to come to us to get the cure. Checking out the chat here. Let's see. People saying we're not supposed to. No, we don't. Halloween is much more American. Yeah, of course. They worship Halloween. Pagans. Sure. Okay, so I can't tell. I don't know if they do or not. Okay, this is interesting that they would report this. So yeah, not the pumpkins. But yeah, it's the pumpkins, which leads us into the food conversation here as part of the climate issue, right? Part of the climate issue is it's water, and it's the food. I'm hungry. This is, man, we got a lot of dailymail.co.uk here. cost of living crisis could fuel spike in young women donating their eggs for 750 pounds a pop, experts say amid nationwide donor shortage. Oh, this is how they get our DNA. The cost of living crisis could fuel a spike in women donating their eggs, experts predict. Excuse me, women in the UK under the age of 35, like if you're 33, can sign up to offer eggs to give to infertile women undergoing IFE and earn up to 750 pounds a time. Every time. Wow. What is that? 700. I got to try to do some quick math here. 750 times 12. That's 9,000 pounds a year you can make. This is every month, huh? There's currently a dire shortage of egg donors and huge demand from the lizard people in the laboratories. No, I'm sorry. That's a joke, Susan. With women in some parts of the country forced to wait more than 2 years to start a family. Oh, look at that. The euphemism they use there. It's not any kind of research or some kind of database. No, it prevents them from starting their families. Charity bosses told Mail Online women may become more curious about donating their eggs over the coming months as cash becomes tight. Spiraling inflation in the Ukraine war is set to cause energy bills to nearly double this autumn, with food prices and fuel also expected to soar. However, experts said they wouldn't be surprised if more started to sign up for the procedure, quote, as a way of trying to earn more money. Yeah, no kidding. Why else would they do that? Just to be a good citizen? Come on. All right, so there you go. You have the cost of living, inflation, food shortages, and this, it's all kind of coming, and climate, it's all coming to a head in this whirlwind of chaos that is causing people to do things that they would normally not do. And of course, this is next article, CNBC.com. Eurozone inflation hits another record of 9.1% as food and energy prices soar. Inflation continues to hit new records just as the European Central Bank mulls another large interest rate hike for next month. We're not going to go deep into the economics, but it's very dangerous to be raising interest rates if you're the central bank of anywhere. The Fed here in the United States is doing that because they say it's to fight inflation. If they do it too hard, the economy is going to crash, or it's going to have this crazy correction. And that could spin off a whole different kind of chaos, which maybe is exactly what they want for the reset. So I'm not going to read the rest of this. It's just a report and making my point here. And then, of course, CNBC.com again. Steve Hanke says we're going to have one whopper of a recession in 2023. Whopper of a recession. The U.S. economy is going to fall into recession next year, according to Steve Hanke, a professor of applied economics at Johns Hopkins University. And that's not necessarily because of higher interest rates. What? What are you saying? Quote, we will have a recession because we have had 5 months of zero M2 growth, money supply growth, and the Fed isn't even looking at it, he told the CNBC Street Signs Asia on Monday. Okay, so we'll get into, we won't get into all of the details here with the M1 supply. And by the way, they're looking at the M2 supply, or they're supposed to, because they stopped looking at the M1, because the M1 chart it was awful. Anybody that looked at the M1 chart would say, oh my gosh, we're gonna go into crazy, we're in recession, and the inflation rate is crazy. At 20-30%, we have incredible amounts of supply, the US dollar being printed. This is not good. And I think we actually did a report on that moment when they're like, cut off the M1, time to look at the M2, everybody. Because M1 does not give them the kind of data that they need to keep the propaganda rolling. So the takeaway here, I'm trying to summarize with, I know usually we dig into one particular story, but today we're kind of looking at a whole bunch of stuff going on, the heating up of the dial, so to speak, with the climate crisis worldwide. It just feels like now that COVID is over, it's climate time. It's climate time, I don't remember who it was. Maybe was it before Macron, the French president or something like that, somebody had warned, and it didn't turn out to be correct, but they were warning like, oh, you have 500 days. You have 500 days until the crisis, kind of threatening the public to go along with his climate policies or something. Which tells me, like, the 500-day thing didn't work out. Obviously, we're past the 500 days. We're well past it from when that guy said it. I could look it up who it is, but that's not the point. I think people that know what I'm talking about. But it does tell me that they do plan on really ramping up the climate issue, the climate chaos. And they're going to do it eventually. But they had to teach everybody, what to do. Hence COVID, right? If you get everybody to understand that during certain situations caused by the climate, here's what you do. You go lock down, okay? You wait until your government goons are able to distribute the things you need. Okay, you stay put. So, I don't know. It all seems very suspicious to me. But, hey, I'm a crazy person. What do I know? Right? Yeah, I bet you some people are looking at me or listening to me saying, oh, give me a break, Gons.
I mean, come on. Give me a break.
Time for a break to thank some more producers.
It's time for a break.
We're making good time here. I do have to get out of here at a certain time, so I'm trying to fly through everything as much as possible. And I'll play the other part of Basil's message in a few moments here. But before we do, we got some more people to thank. These are people who came in under $7.77, and we shall thank you now. First up, Sir Casey, the Shield Knight. Coming in, he's on... I can't believe this. A 200 episode streak. Wow, Sir Casey, you've done it. 200 episodes in a row that he has supported the show. Amazing. Thank you so much. And but although it is a milestone, we have set the jingle milestone at 201. As if you're familiar with the event 201, it seems to be a number that they like, those elite lizard people. So we'll call them out and we'll give Sir Casey the Shield Knight the event 201 next episode. So look out for that. Thank you, Sir Casey the Shield Knight, the streak setter, the main streak setter, literally the one setting the streak, setting the bar. All right, next up we have the Streak Sisters. First up, Gail M., who is on a 165 episode streak herself.
Women rule!
Thank you, Gail M. And we also have Veronica D. This is actually, I believe this is a double thank you because Veronica D., I think we missed her on Monday, but I believe she's in today. Oh, I got to double check that. But thank you very much, Veronica D. 165 episodes in a row. And we also have Sir Scott, Knight of Truth, 189 episodes in a row. Thank you very much to all of our producers for coming in. Thank you for your patronage.
Shut up and take my money.
Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage.
Please leave a message after the tone.
At the tone, please record your message.
Leave a message. Beep.
Message!
Go to canarycrynewstalk.com. You'll find a green tab on the right or somewhere on the bottom if you're on mobile. And just click on it. And it'll prompt you a little window that allows you to record a message of up to 1 minute, 30 seconds. I almost said an hour and a half. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine if we opened up the speak pipe to an hour and a half? 90 seconds is all you get. And by recording a message, you give us the right to air it or not. That'll be on our discretion. And yeah, there you go. Go do that if you have something to say or something to ask us or something like that, like Rochelle did here.
Happy Wednesday. Hey, Jesus came teaching. He was on a mission. He started a revolution. Jesus taught much about the kingdom of God. And his message, like John the Baptist, was a very urgent call for us to repent. And, not because the kingdom of God was going to be here eventually, but because it had already come. In this sense, God's kingdom is not a worldly empire based in a given time and place, but a spiritual reality that God is in control of our destinies. And I really believe he would support your Burning Man mission. And it's in the title, Burning Man. Burning men need to be pulled out of the fire. Anyway, I just wanted to thank you for all you're doing. And producers, I love this show. Thank you so much. And everyone, stay strong for Jesus and pray for Basil and Gons.
Oh, that's such a sweet message. Thank you very much, Rochelle. Appreciate that. And it's such a huge blessing. I don't think I say it enough because, I'm always letting Basil do a lot of the talking on pitches and stuff like that. But it truly is very humbling to know that there are so many of you out there listening and that there are so many who are willing to support with your time, talent, and treasure, because it's really affirming for us that we're kind of on the right path and we're doing something that the Holy Spirit has called us to do. There was a point in time where we didn't know if this is what God was calling us to do. It was kind of like, okay, well, there's nobody holding us accountable to put out more episodes of Canary Cry Radio or something. So, but something happened and we were like, all right, let's do the news talk thing. And then the pandemic hit and that was a big green flag, like go do your thing, do it. So ever since the lockdowns, we've been really charging it. So, appreciate the message, Rochelle, and thank you so much. And thank you to all the producers. Appreciate it. And in that spirit, the Holy Spirit, letting the Holy Spirit lead. We're going to talk real quickly about meetups.
Canary Cry Meetup.
Go to canarycrymeetups.com. You will see, that is a meetup photo for those of you watching, but I'm not supposed to be there quite yet. Canarycrymeetups.com, and you will find a list of meetups that may be near you. I updated it today. It's not the cleanest, but we have September 3rd, Denton, Texas. That is this Saturday coming up. Schnizzle Dizzle Denton, Texas meetup, afternoon and evening on September 3rd in Denton, Texas. RSVP AdamBomb101@gmail.com. That's AdamBomb101, 2 Ds, ADDAMBOMB101@gmail.com. And it's an afternoon and evening. And it's just a meetup that's happening real quick, a backyard barbecue. So if you like barbecue, you like stuff that we talk about, or want to meet people that share a similar view about the world and about what's happening, go join some folks here at Denton, Texas on Saturday, especially if you're close by. We also have Bend, Oregon, September 4th. That's this Sunday. Central Oregon meetup set to meet at noon on September 9th, 2022 at the Podski Food Cart Lot in Bend, Oregon. Contact Gabe Garcia 87 at yahoo.com. Again, you can go to canarycrymeetups.com and get the direct link to all of this. Also later this month, St. Paul, Minnesota, September 24th, Canary Cry Twin Cities meetup. That came out weird. Backstory Coffee Roasters at 11:11 a.m. That's Saturday, September 24th. And you can RSVP or connect with Miranda.Lopez1990 @gmail.com. So look out for that if you're in the St. Paul, Twin Cities area, Minnesota. Go meet up with Miranda and find your peeps out there. And then Mountain View, Arkansas, September 28th through 29th. That's Pikeland. That's the Pikeland meetup. and it will be at Mountain View, Arkansas. Contact surrealgrey@gmail.com, surrealgrey@gmail.com. And there's more in October and November. We will mention them as time gets closer there. But go to canarycrymeetups.com to see all the meetups happening. And if you don't see one happening near you, you have instructions at the top there. You choose a location, you figure out a date and time, you make a flyer, which we can help you with, and then promote it. It's very simple, and it's necessary, I think, as the infrastructure around this country starts to crumble and the reset that is set to be. It's important to have a network of individuals in your local area that you can connect with, because when the poop hits the fan, you know what they say: don't turn on the fan. Go meet people that are like-minded instead. On that note, we have a report, a couple reports actually. The first one here is from the Knoxville, Tennessee meetup from Organized Sheep. Yes, as Organized Sheep did her meetup, and we have a note here. Putting up the note was a thrill. I can see that being even more fun in a group or at night, finding obscure and hard-to-reach places. I think the tagger in me had been awoken. Watch out. And she sent a picture here where she put some of these Canary Cry street team posters up. I can't tell if this is like some kind of corkscrew thing, a public cork board thing, which is so funny because the Canary Cry, the Comrades promotional piece that Dove made is posted up there next to the holistic connection, and the O of holistic is kind of like an all-seeing eye with some designs in there. So, yep. That's part of the mission, folks. It's just really just getting in the face of these people that are peddling the new age and just telling them that the truth is in Jesus Christ. And here's some other photos here. Some great things that Organized Sheep did to let the people know in Knoxville, Tennessee, that there's a canary in there. Sad though, she said she was the only one. Nobody showed up. So that's kind of a bummer. So, if you're in that area, definitely go to the next one if Organized Sheep decides to have another one. She also sent a picture of some, I think these are, what are these, peaches? Tomatoes? Apples? I can't tell. There's some googly eyes on them, though. So if you're a Canary Cry listener, you live in Knoxville, Tennessee, you're walking around, you see googly eyes, or you see some posters that may look familiar, that was Organized Sheep doing what she can in her solo meetup. Nevertheless, thank you so much, Organized Sheep, for doing that, setting the precedent. All right, folks, if you're in that area in Knoxville, contact her, connect with her, get to know her. She's there, and I'm guaranteeing that there are other Canarians in Knoxville. Come on, Knoxvillians. Is that what they call them? Or maybe they're Knoxvillans until they become good and join Organized Sheep here in the meetup. Thank you very much. All right, we also have the report from the Galveston meetup, Houston Galveston meetup. We have a lovely photo here of some people that were at that meetup, and Davey Frost leading the charge there. The note here: the Houston meetup was great. We had a small turnout, but still had great conversation and fellowship. If distance was the issue for people not coming to this one, there will be more to come, and it will be more centralized to minimize drive time. I just couldn't pass up Noah's Ark for the Houston meetup's maiden voyage. Ah, yes, very good. And some of the faces are hidden with the canary in a spacesuit, which, of course, everybody loves. And this also came with, I believe, a audio message. Let me try to find it, because I did have that ready to go. Actually, the last episode. Here it is.
Hey guys, Davey Frost here checking in, the Canary Cry Houston meetup. We had a great turnout tonight, a whopping 3. That's right, 3 folks made it all the way down here to Bay Cliff. Anyway, just going to pass the phone around to let everybody say hi.
Hey guys, it's Marty in Texas. Love you a bunch.
This is Scott, New Texas transfer. I'm learning, expanding my knowledge. You guys missed out.
Think outside the cage.
Awesome. I like that person in the background going, oh, at the end. Yeah, great job putting the meetup together. And hey, 3 more than 1. So, low numbers for both, but I think the ability to step out in faith and do this is commendable for everybody that went. And they're calling you out there, especially in Galveston there. You missed out. See, great conversations can be had and learning can be had. It's all great, and we appreciate those of you who've stepped out and did this, and we encourage you to continue to do it. And you got to start somewhere, and we appreciate that. So it doesn't benefit us really, other than maybe people that have never heard the show hear about it or something like that. This is for you. This is for you, the listener, wherever you happen to be, whether it's in the United States or anywhere else in the world, even in Antarctica. If the Nephilim penguins want to have a meetup, we encourage that. So there you go. Thank you for all of the reports, and look for the meetups because we'll see you there.
This is fun! See you at the meetup.
All right, time to wake up again.
Yes, it's wake up time.
Hey, yo, wake up.
Yeah, we're a show that wakes up like multiple times, because there's levels to waking up. There's kind of your regular wake up, and then there's next level wake up, and then there's like waking up, All right, we got some AI biblical stuff.
Artificial intelligence.
It's got to be biblical. This article I thought was very interesting, and I want to bring it to you here because it's my little corner that I've been talking about for a long time in terms of transhumanism, but also robotics and AI and how it infiltrates the church in a certain way. But this is ChristianityToday.com. I know we don't bring Christianity Today very often because the ads that they have on here are just ridiculous. I wonder if Christianity Today is mentioned. Oh, it didn't even make the Harvard media list. So, who knows how many people actually are still, reading Christianity Today. But the headline here, AI can preach, sing, AI can preach and sing, so why can't it worship God? Good question. And again, Japan to kick things off here. Visit the Kodaiji Temple in Tokyo, Japan, and a 6'4", 132-pound robot priest, so close to 133, named Mindar, will give you a 25-minute sermon on Heart Sutra. Mindar's ability to preach suggests a near future where artificial intelligence robots broadly replace human religious leaders. Christian churches may soon be considering how AI and smart machines can shape their liturgies. One case in point is a Christian AI musician created by Marquis Boone Enterprises. Based on software algorithms, this AI musician recognizes different patterns of songs and composes new ones through replication of the patterns. But does AI's ability to replicate religious services elements mean that it is capable of worship or leading religious gatherings? Or does the relationship between our bodies and our consciousness give us unique capability to praise the God who made us in psychosomatic unity? Oh. The hope for human-level AI and the concern about AI robot ministers are both largely rooted in the conviction that human consciousness can be reproduced through emulating the human brain. In the past several decades, AI researchers have developed artificial neural networks. Hey, Christianity Today, I think they call it general artificial neural networks or something because it's called GANs. Or, I don't know, maybe it's just ANS too. Artificial neural networks, also known as simulated neural networks. These neural networks are silicon-based systems, contra and carbon-based human brain, and comprised of many interconnected nodes. The nodes mimic biological neurons and work together to perform functions of the human brain in AI systems. Those endorsing conscious AI see ANS, artificial neural networks, and the human brain as computers. They more often than not blur the distinction between human consciousness and artificial consciousness. For example, some advocates of the computational model of the brain even argue that consciousness refers to primarily to information processing in humans. Hence, if AI can have sufficient computational power to process information, the essential features of human consciousness can be actualized in silicon-based systems. Indeed, Ann's present to us a simple simulated structure of a human neural networks, and advocates of the computational model rightly point us to the close connection between the brain and consciousness. Yet, simulation in no way amounts to reproduction. That is, AI's simulation of the human neural networks is not exactly the human as human neural networks, and the functions of the human brain are not completely repeated through ANDs. Many aspects of human neurons remain to be explored, like multi-level interaction between neurons and exact number of neural networks in the brain. And then he goes on, he just kind of blah, 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 just, talks about some stuff. Many scholars who develop interdisciplinary approaches to AI have suggested distinguishing between artificial neural nodes and biological neurons. And then give some examples here. Let me get to some more of the stuff here. A challenge to the distinction between the artificial and the natural is posed by Yuval Noah Harari, Homo Deus, A Brief History of Tomorrow. Now, man, this we were talking about Yuval Noah Harari, in 2016. Like, nobody was talking about this guy. And now, Joe Rogan is talking about it. It's just crazy. Harari identifies organisms, including humans, as algorithms and defines algorithm as, quote, a methodological neural network for clearing up that pronunciation. A methodical set of steps that can be used to make calculations, resolve problems, and reach decisions. Harari's argument for an algorithmic account of humanity suggests that what happens in human biological algorithms can be replicated in silicon-based algorithms. Example, in AI systems. Not everyone believes Harari is on the right track. In his work, The Strange Order of Things, Antonio Damasio, a leading expert in neuroscience, contends that the algorithmic account of humanity is misleading and even false. Quote, algorithms are formulas, recipes, enumerations of steps in the construction of particular results, he says. Quote, living organisms, including human organisms, are constructed according to algorithms and use algorithms to operate their genetic machinery, end quote. But Damasio argues living organisms, quote, are not algorithms themselves. Tissues, organs, cells, and other biological and physical elements, which cannot be reduced to mere algorithmic codes, are necessary and crucial for organisms. That's really interesting that this neuroscientist separates the math equation with the meat space. Because, in my thinking, and go with me here, I'm not agreeing with Yuval Harari when I say this, but there is a computation, so to speak, an algorithm, an equation, if you want to call it that, behind every physical thing that exists in time and space. And I think there is an arm of philosophy that have used this argument, and if they haven't, I must be the smartest guy ever, because no, I'm not saying that, but there's an argument for the existence of God based on information. And that argument is basically that information itself, exists apart from any human experience, right? For example, every organ, every tissue, all these things, it is kind of an algorithm. How does it exist in time and space? There's some kind of math behind it. That doesn't mean we figured out the math, but we as humans, we discover things. We discover ways to express objects in the physical world, physics, for example. That whole discipline is describing activity in the physical world through mathematics, through equations that we have concocted. But really, it's looking at the numbers and seeing how the numbers operate and interact, and then we can predict how an object might behave in the physical space. Right? They're discovering that, though. They're not finding out about what's happening in the physical world. This world is already here. When physicists discover something, what are they discovering? They are discovering information. They're discovering the algorithm. Maybe not the algorithm, but an expression of the algorithms that exists behind creation. And the Bible says, the creation is held up by God. So God is literally holding up creation, right? And so, where did that information come from? Information must have pre-existed this universe, right? So I just think it's a very interesting argument for the existence of God. It's kind of a sidetrack to all this. And it's interesting that Christianity today would take a neuroscientist that disagrees with Yuval Harari to make the point of like, hey, and eventually we'll get to the point where he's talking about how, the neuroscientist disagrees with Harari because there are no algorithms in tissues and organs. But you think about it. You think about a cell. You think about DNA. I mean, what is it? What exactly is it? I mean, you get some cells, you have DNA in it, and then it just knows how to grow into tissues, organs, cells. What is that? You know what I mean? Where did that come from? It doesn't just come out of nowhere. And so I disagree a little bit with this guy saying that, the living organisms are not algorithms themselves, but only in that context of information being something that predates all of creation, and that only a transcendent mind, God, would be able to author and uphold a world, a universe, capable of minds like us, minds like you, to be independent, to make independent decisions that have ethical consequences, but still within a closed system. We can't exactly do everything that we imagined, right? We have limits. We're limited in our physical space, but we have free will within that space. So anyway, it gets into all the weeds of philosophy and everything else. But I just find it interesting that the author here would use that argument to sort of make the Christian point, which he kind of tries to go on and do here. Both Bowden and Damasio emphasize the importance of human carbon-based physicality for human consciousness. Human conscious life is never independent of human biological conditions and physical bodies. This is the difference between human consciousness and artificial consciousness. Furthermore, their emphasis on human physicality resonates with the accent on the human body's role in Christian worship found in many theological writings. Consider how human beings interact with a world that exists outside of themselves. The human spirit cannot be divorced from the human body and interact directly with the physical world on its own. The human spirit is always in touch with the surrounding reality through the human body. In this way, the human being as a whole includes both the spiritual and the physical dimensions interacting with the world. As such, the human body should be considered, quote, the real symbol of the human spirit. And the human being as an embodied spirit suggests Roman Catholic liturgical theologian Edward Kilmartin in Volume 1 of Christian Liturgy, Theology, and Practice. As Kilmartin, that's a weird name, Kilmartin reminds us, this symbolism of human bodies is of importance to the church insofar as God is present in the liturgical assembly and the church's communal response to God is made in a bodily manner. Oh, gosh. Very rambly sentence there. Kilmartin's Catholic account of the body's symbolism in the Christian liturgy resonates with Dutch neo-Calvinist theologian Abraham Kuyper. Emphasis on human bodily actions in worship. In our worship, one's eredienst. Here's the quote. Kneeling as such is nothing more than having our body assume a posture that symbolizes the soul bowing before the majesty of God. And this is not in the first place to make the body convey what lives in the soul, but rather to deepen and strengthen the action of the soul through the harmonious cooperation of body and soul. Very poetic. It is apparent that we must keep an image of the holistic human being in mind while speaking of human action in the liturgy. The symbolism of the human body reflects how the human being, as a united whole, adores and honors God in worship. That is human consciousness of liturgical action. Man, he just rambles on about this stuff. We get it. Okay. Let me get to the highlights. So what does Bowden and Damasio's emphasis on human carbon-based physicality mean for understanding the significance of the whole human being in worship? Worship comes in context where the distinction between AI robots and humans comes to the fore. An AI robot, like Mindar, can, of course, preach a beautiful sermon and sing a heartwarming hymn in the enactment of a liturgy. But what we should note here is not the AI robot. We need instead to focus our attention on churchly public worship itself. Above all, every agent in worship should be a worshiper who keeps reorienting to God by singing hymns, praying, and listening to God's word. An AI robot that claims to have consciousness then should be able to reorient to God in worship in the same sense that the whole human being can. This is where carbon-based human bodies matter. In worship, human neurons and bodily element cooperate with the human spirit. He keeps saying human spirit. Is he talking about the Holy Spirit or the human spirit? I think he's trying to make that argument there, but okay. The human body cooperate with the human spirit so that the whole human person consciously praises and adores God. The fundamental differences between carbon-based humans and silicon-based AI, as Bowden and Damasio describe, suggest that AI robots cannot respond consciously to God's grace and glory in the same way that humans do, nor can AI robots guide humans to worship God in the manner that humans should. Okay. It should be noted here that we need to refrain from reducing non-physicality properties of human consciousness to physical particulars and properties in worship. He's really balancing on the thin line. The difference between human worshippers and AI worshippers does not rest merely with human carbon-based biological conditioning. Rather, both the body and the spirit play their role in worshiping God. Underlying our consciousness of worship are not only bodily actions, including neurobiological processes of the brain, but also our spirits inspired by the Holy Spirit's work. There you go. Yeah, good job, buddy. We are conscious, for example, of singing Amazing Grace because our mouths are singing the song, our brains are generating and controlling relevant neural activities, and our spirits are being ignited by the Spirit, capital S. All these together underpin conscious worshippers. Are we on the verge of creating conscious AI robots now? Yes. AI technology produces robots that are capable of performing some functions of human consciousness in a simulated way. In many instances, AI can even perform more powerful functions than humans. However, we will perpetually be, quote, on the verge, never wholly substituting artificial consciousness for human consciousness. Christian worship is a good context for illustrating this, bringing to light how our carbon-based bodies, together with our human non-physical particulars, distinguishing humans worshippers from silicon-based AI worshippers. It is in this sense that AI, quote-unquote, teaches us how and why we should be attentive to our bodily actions in worship, offering our carbon-based bodies in truth and spirit to our God. All right, so, very interesting. He sort of lands in this place where he's saying that the body still matters. It's not just about the algorithm. Sure, we can make neural networks do things that mimic or simulate human consciousness, but you can't separate it from the body. For humans, our bodily actions infused with our human being, ignited by the Holy Spirit, is in worship being the primary example of that. And this is the key point, the unique perspective you get here on Canary Cry News Talk that I've been ranting and raving about for like a decade, is that in Revelation 13, it talks about the worship of the image of the beast. Okay, not just the creation, the worship of the image of the beast. And along with that, if you look at Revelation 13, you go to those passages, it talks about how the false prophet is able to give breath to the image so that the image may speak and demand worship himself or else be killed. Okay, so this inanimate object all of a sudden is given what dirt was given at the beginning when humans were formed. Some kind of breath of life, or mimicking or counterfeit of the breath of life. And it is able to speak, communicate, express certain things, and demand worship. And so he's on, the Simeon Jimian Jew. Wow, that sounds like a real name. who wrote this article on Christianity Today. I mean, maybe it is his real name. I don't know, but weird name, Simeon Jimian Jew. They're on to something when they say that worship really is a sort of prototype of what it means to be human is separate from AI. Because to him, AI is just an algorithm. It's all just math equations on computers. But, algorithms have bodies. They're called server farms. They're supercomputers, maybe quantum computers in a little while. So, I mean, that's kind of their body, right? I mean, it's maybe not like the body. It's maybe the encasing is the body, but philosophically, it begins to question what it means to be a mind, what it means to have a body. And so when you think about that, this Revelation 13 passage that talks about a future time when an inanimate object that shouldn't have a body somehow, or shouldn't have any kind of spirit or soul, right? A physical object suddenly has life or appearance of life. Very prophetic. And on that note, I ran across this. It was an advertisement to me, which, I'm looking at NFTs and stuff. So maybe they're like, hey, maybe this guy will like the simulation. FableSimulation.com. Gives your NFTs AI-powered lives in the simulation. Okay, so, all right, we're going to have our NFTs, a picture of a monkey or something. But yeah, it's just a picture of a monkey. What harm is it? Well, bring him to the simulation and you can give your monkey life. I mean, pretty wild here. What is the simulation? The simulation is the only home for AIs in the metaverse. No humans allowed. Build careers for your NFTs. In the simulation, your NFTs will fall in love, grow their careers, make enemies, more losses. Okay. Bring any NFT to the simulation. Today, your NFTs sit lonely, inert in wallets. Our soul NFT infuses them with AI to enter the simulation. What did I just talk about? Revelation 13. The false prophet giving breath to the image. Wow. I mean, I think we're a lot closer than people realize, folks. It says it right here on this website. The NFTs, they just sit lonely in your wallet. Our soul NFTs infuses them with AI to enter simulation. AI being the counterfeit breath of life. Earn sim. Yay, they can earn money. Earn sim. With challenging AI quests, level up, earn more sin. Or sim, sorry. Sim, S-I-M, not S-I-N. Pretty close, though. Socialize with your friends as NFTs. Yeah, okay, hey, my NFTs hung out with your NFTs. You have children? No, we don't have children, but we have NFTs with infused AI living in the simulation. Powered by the Wizard Engine. Earn and transact with Sim Token. Every character has a unique soul NFT. Combine soul NFT with your NFT character and let them live unpredictable, unique lives in the simulation. This is almost like a reverse, not a reverse, but like a next level Truman Show. Where it's like you give your NFT life and you can observe it. Very interesting. Oh, a 2-time Emmy award-winning team developing with OpenAI, backed by $15 million from top investors, a team of Oculus, Pixar, ILM, and Meta veterans. So, yeah, this is a legit thing that they're building. This isn't some wackadoodle thingy-madoodle-doo. This is legit, and it's the kind of project that you should keep an eye on. And, yeah, it'd be interesting. Maybe I should get one of my NFTs and drop them into the simulation for experimental purposes. And can I program my NFT with AI to just preach the gospel in the simulation? Is that something I can do, or is it like totally up to the simulation algorithms that like randomly assigns them life? Interesting. Like Brother G in the chat. The ultimate scum. Oh, the ultimate scam. Yeah, totally. Yeah, this is totally a rug. But they're gonna rug the simulation universe, and then steal all your NFTs, because all your NFTs will be trapped in the simulation. And you're like, oh no, hairy monkey number 7443, come back to me. And they'll be like, no, you strange creator. I am happy now. My lord simulator gifts me with sim tokens, and I live fruitful lives in the simulation. Oh boy, it's all happening, folks. Oh, all right. Yeah. Basil has set a standard of silliness here, and I have to tap in and be a total goof. But there you go. Let's take a break and thank some producers for their talent. Break. This is break. Don't just consume the content, but become the content. Become the content. Take a break. All right, another quick break here to thank the producers who come in with their talent. As a little jingle says there, don't just consume the content. Become part of the content. Help us build the culture behind the community here at Canary Cry News Talk. All we ask is that whatever you make is for the show. So, there's something that pertains to the show, something we reference, something that comes up, a story, whatever it may be. And we're going to kick it off with some audio production.
Audio production.
And I haven't checked the email. I apologize if there's stuff that came in after I set this episode up. But we have one a couple from Jonathan F.
Jonathan F.
All right, and this first one here, well, he has a note. Denmark and Germany Baltic wind hub to offset Russian gas. Submissive Sheep on Discord helped me with the idea for this jingle. Shout out to him. I'm still waiting for Poco Joe 33 to brainstorm with me for her request. Oh, okay, so here is that jingle, I believe. I think so.
The heavens are yours. The earth also is yours.
Wait a minute, I thought we played this one already. Hold on, did I forget downloading it or something? Or maybe I put it in the wrong folder? Let me double check that. I'll play that jingle because it's a cool jingle anyway.
The heavens are yours. The earth also is yours. The world and all that is in it. You have founded them. He caused the east wind to blow in the heavens, and by his power he led out the south wind. The hairs of his head were white, like white wool, like snow. His eyes were like a flame of fire. His feet were like burnished bronze, refined in a furnace. And his voice was like the roar of many waters.
Yeah, that's a good one. That was from last episode, though. The one that I want to play for today from Jonathan F. is... I'm almost there. I have it here. Where'd it go? Come on. Where is it? Give it to me. Give me the jingle. Give me the jingle, you AI NFT thief. Stealing our jingles. Okay, yeah, here it is. This is Baltic Park jingle.
Baltic countries are next. He started in Georgia, now Ukraine. The next target could be the Baltic countries, Poland, Finland, or other countries on the eastern flank, said Poland's Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki. Conflicts they have had in the past is something that might give Putin a reason for the Baltics to be next. Lithuania, Estonia, and Latvia had cold relations in the past with Russia, and it can be traced back all the way to the time when these Baltic countries were under the control of Tsarist Russia.
Informative and short. Very good. Thank you very much for that, Jonathan F. He also sent one in, which was the ISO, I think, from Kirshner, Jared Kushner, who we covered last episode in his wild quote, but done in the style of Jonathan F.
I think that from the last year, the one thing I've tried to put a priority on since I left the White House was getting some exercise. And I think that there's a good probability that my generation is, hopefully with the advances in science, either the first generation to live forever or the last generation that's going to die. And so we need to keep ourselves in pretty good shape.
Very good. Yeah, you gotta stay in shape because we're the last generation to die. I don't know why you'd want to stay in shape for that, but okay. Or the first generation to live forever. Jared Kushner. All right. Thank you very much, Jonathan F. That's a good one. I think we will keep that one around for sure to let Basil know because he missed it on that one. Okay. You know what? I am doing a little refresh here. Runk Smash came in. Did I thank Runk Smash in the thing? Oh, yeah, you know what? Let me just do a couple here. Runk Smash, thank you very much. Oops, wrong thing. I'm on the wrong page. Runk Smash, thank you for your support, and I believe your streak continues, so we will credit you for that down there. And Sir JC, Night of the Techno Squatch. Let's see, he did come in as well. Sir JC, Night of the Techno Squatch. I think we did thank him, but his note here, it's WMD. I'm falling everywhere trying to get this correct.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday.
He says, hope the Canarium is pumping in the support and prayers for the ministry happening at Burning Man. Appreciate that, Sir JC, Night of the Techno Squatch. Okay, done with that. Done with the audio production. Let's move on to some art.
One art, please.
And we'll kick it off with Dame Allie of the Skillet Nation.
One art, please. Another one from Allie now. Here he is.
Ooh, speaking of Kushner, we have an Ebony Blaze haiku. Kushner's goals. A Dame Ebony Blaze haiku. Fake eternal life. Exercise. Advanced science. And sparkly eyeballs. And yes, we have Allie's version of Jared Kushner. The hair comb, very accurate. Just the jawline and sort of his countenance, kind of leaning in. The eyeballs, though, yeah, those shiny eyeballs. You look closely, they clearly depict that lizard slit in the eye. So there you go. Thank you very much, Dame Allie of the Skillet Nation, and Dame Ebony Blaze for the haiku. Just an excellent one to add to the collection, and we thank you for that. Next up, we have Sir Dove, Knight of Rusbeltia.
One art, please, from Dove.
Oh, I actually had to do a little screenshot of that one, and this one is actually for the meetup. He has a note here. Peace. For today's artwork, I did a flyer for the upcoming Minnesota meetup later this month. Hope you guys like it. Keep doing what you do, and I'll keep praying for yins. And yeah, this is for the Twin Cities meetup. And did I get the date wrong on that when I looked at it? Let me go back to the meetups page. Oh, not that. Not that. Boy, my tabs. You know, if you guys knew how many tabs I have open for an episode and how many windows. I have multiple tabs, multiple windows. Okay, so yeah, September 4th. No, 24th. That makes more sense. Yeah, the art is for the September 24th Twin Cities meetup. Yes, and you have you have two canaries shaking hands. And they're humongous. They're kind of in the city. Like if you've ever seen, like, I don't know, Gundam or, I don't know, Ultraman or something like that, where they get all big and they're fighting in the city. That's how big they are. And they're both wearing baseball jerseys. Both got their blue cap. And one says M on the shoulder. And S with a T and a P in it for the other one. What is that? The Twin City. I don't know what they're for. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, Twin City meetup. Huh. The reference is, I'm not getting it. Maybe I need Basil here to get it, but it's eluding me. Chat, anybody watching know what the reference is here? There's a delay, so I have to wait for a few seconds. But let's see. Yeah, the reference is baseball. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, it is baseball. Yeah, we know that. Thank you very much, Sir Dove, Knight of Rusbeltia. We appreciate you contributing to art, making flyers for people that otherwise either can't or won't. Oh, it's the old Twins logo. That makes sense. Okay. I'm not a big baseball fan, so I'm not familiar with that. But thank you very much in the chat there. Who was that? George Owell. You guys have the best names. George O. Well. Like, oh, well. All right, there you go. Thank you very much for the art there. Let's do a microfiction.
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 And this one is from Runk Smash. And I did not have the epic song ready, but now I do. Agent Smith wrestles the Derwin to the ground, knocking off his watermelon helmet and cuffs him. I'm Agent DK with the IRSS. We'll be taking it from here. Says an Asian man. Oh, no. Yeah, hold on. I'm losing it. Says an Asian man in Jinko jeans. His thinning hair spiked and bleached like it's still 2002. Sorry, I messed that one up pretty bad. Apologies for that, Wrong Smash. I was trying to get it. I had to juggle the sound bar with the thing and the thing. I like it, though. The IRSS is in there. You got Agent Smith wrestling Derwin to the ground. You got an Asian guy in Jinkos. And thinning, spiked hair. My hair thinning? I guess it is a little bit. I am almost 40, so yeah. Thank you very much, Wrong Smash. Appreciate it. And thank you to all of our artists and the producing the show in such a unique way. You know, there are only a handful of shows that really have a community that garners this much talent. And I'm happy. I feel blessed to say that Canary Cry News Talk is one of those shows. So thank you very much for all of you who contributed with your talent. All right. We're going to wake up. We're going to say bye to YouTube because I got a couple COVID things to say in a real brief end of the show thing here. Wow, time-wise, that's really close. I got to get out of here. So YouTube, we'll see ya. There's not a lot of show left. And I wanted to do the COVID stuff at the end because I knew that it was going to be quick, and I knew I had to get out of here fairly quickly. So YouTube, see you later.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure?
Go to Twitch, Rumble, Odyssey, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is. You can find all those links at canarycry.party as well. Too hot for YouTube.
YouTube. Now you see me. Now you don't.
All right. And I forgot to play the Basil's extra thing. You know what I'll do? I will play the second message from Basil. It's about 8 minutes long. I'll play it at the end of the show. Instead of an end of show mix, we'll just play Basil's thing. So that'll just be something special for people who stick around, you know. Okay, bye YouTube. We'll see you later. We're going to do a quick COVID thing.
It's Corona time. COVID-19, 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 yes. COVID-19, COVID-19. Vaccine, number one way.
So we have COVID here, but it's not just COVID that we're talking about. We are also talking about China. Because in China, well, let me play the jingle. China.
Chinese news.
It comes from China. China. It's not racist at all, no.
Oh, it's not racist. Bing bong. CNN.com. China shuts world's largest electronics market as Shenzhen imposes more lockdowns. That's my commentary. Let me read a little bit of it here. China's southern city of Shenzhen on Monday shut down the world's largest electronics market and suspended public transport nearby as authorities enforced neighborhood-wide lockdowns in response to a small number of COVID cases. Huaqingbei, a busy shopping area home to thousands of stalls selling computer components, mobile phone parts, and microchips. is among 3 neighborhoods placed under a mandatory 4-day lockdown in Fujian district, according to the district government. Residents in the neighborhoods are forbidden to leave their homes except for COVID testing, which they are required to undergo daily until Thursday. All businesses in the affected areas are shut down through Thursday, except for supermarkets, pharmaceuticals, and hospitals. Restaurant dining is also suspended, with only takeaways allowed. China is one of the last places in the world still enforcing stringent zero COVID measures, which rely on sweeping digital surveillance, mass testing, extensive quarantine, and snap lockdowns. On Tuesday, Shenzhen, an international technology hub of 18 million people, reported just 35 infections, including 11 asymptomatic cases. 35 infections out of 18 million. Shut it all down. We don't want that. Shut it down. Unbelievable. And, I'm not going to read the whole thing because I am completely out of time. I realize I need to really get out of here. Isn't it convenient? The place where the microchips and all the technology is sold gets shut down because of COVID? Really? I mean, I know they have their zero COVID policy, but it's just a little too convenient because you got the Taiwan issue with the microchip stuff there. And I don't know. It just feels very convenient. The timing of it is impeccable. And I almost feel like they are, again, it's not even, at this point, it has to be obvious to every Chinese citizen even that it's not about COVID. It's about control and it's about power. And, I feel like this, and specifically the part about, the phone parts and microchips and computer components, because what's the only thing to do when you're on lockdown? I mean, obviously there's lots of things you can do. But in China, or, modern world, most homes need electronics. Most homes need computers to sort of do things, to communicate with the outside world. You don't have to. Again, you can write a book or read a book or make art, or, there's obviously there's lots of things you can do. But we know the computer thing is big. So given the tensions in Thailand, and we haven't heard a whole lot from that whole thing with Pelosi's trip and all that, I find it interesting that they're shutting down the biggest shopping area for the material. Are they looting it? Why even report it like this? The largest electronics market shuts down because of COVID. Why even report it like this unless there's some kind of fear to be stricken? They need to make people scared. Yes. Okay, I'm almost done, so just hang tight, okay? No hanging tight? Okay. All right. So anyway, I could ramble on and on about this, but I need to really get out of here. So one more quick story, and I don't even have the jingles ready. It's the monkeypox story. The Wall Street Journal reporting, Texas reports first death of a person diagnosed with monkeypox. State health officials are investigating what role the virus played in the death of the adult, who was a resident of Harris County, Texas, and was severely immunocompromised. Why would somebody be severely... did I say Thailand? I meant Taiwan. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to get down here. Why would somebody be severely immunocompromised? I don't know. Is there maybe a jab that can cause severe immunocompromisation? I don't have time to read this article. I wish I did, because obviously, it's one of those stories where a little bit of the nuances can greatly change the way people think and fear monkeypox. And surely, since the vaccines, there's a lot of people with probably some damage to their immune system, or at least weakened. And so something like monkeypox can really damage those people. So, the fear continues. The fear train continues. And, man, I wish I had more time. I just don't anymore today. If Basil's not around Friday, I promise to do a longer show. Where are we at now? 2.5 hours? Yeah, the prep time took too long, with especially a hard out. It just gets it's a little bit shaky. But nevertheless, I appreciate all of you. I truly do. Thank you so much for listening to the show, sharing the show with friends and family, talking about the topics we talk about, and overall just being around. In a time when there are so many podcasts out there and there are so many things that you can be doing, we truly feel blessed, and I truly feel blessed, me and my family, that you guys would spend the time here all the way up until the end. And with that, I do want to thank some of our producers who came in with their time, starting with the Clippies.
Clipping all those videos. Thanks.
Yeah, the Clippies channel, run by Emsworth and Faye Liverin and Epsilon every once in a while, I think. Thank you to you guys for running that Clips channel. We truly appreciate it. It really does help us get out there. And, I know Basil didn't want me to say anything to the Clippies yet about this, but there's something called YouTube Shorts, 30 seconds to a minute, that I think we can take advantage of to please the YouTube algorithms. Especially if there's a funny moment or something like that. It's sort of the TikTok for YouTube. And, I don't like short form content really, because obviously I'm very long-winded. But I discovered Shorts a while ago, but I hadn't really paid attention to it. And then, maybe 2 weeks ago, I was just kind of flipping through. I couldn't stop watching for about a half hour. And I looked at the numbers, and YouTube was like, you just watched 67 shorts. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just went through 67 videos. They're shorts, 15 seconds to a minute or whatever. But just throwing it out there. Nothing, set in stone yet. The Clippies already do too much for us. So I'm not putting this on you guys yet, Clippies, but just know that it's something that we're looking at and thinking about. Thank you, Clippies. Go to Canary Cry Clips channel, subscribe there, and use it as a resource. That's what it's there for. Timestampers.
Timestamp, it's hard work. Timestamp.
We appreciate all the timestampers who basically, literally donate their time to create timestamps. It really helps out in the back room for the Clippies and also for the show, anybody looking for spots. Jade Bouncerson did episode 528. Thank you very much for all that you do. Thank you. Social media.
Social media. Follow us.
Social media consultant.
Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Dame Miss G of the OV and Deep Rivers, for doing the social media posts. And that's, again, you can, the shorter form videos would work well on, I don't necessarily want to do TikTok, but, you got to kind of go where the people are in terms of, this kind of ministry where you're reaching out. So it is something maybe in the works, but, for Instagram too. See, actually, you know what? If there's anybody out there who wants to contribute in that way, let us know, because our team here already are doing so much. I don't want to put more on their plate because they they're here to support the show, and they're doing it as a way to contribute with their time. So I don't want them to have to contribute more time. So if there's anybody out there considering it, please let us know. Canary Cry meetups.
Canary Cry meetups.
We've already gone over the meetup stuff today quite a bit, so I won't mention it too much now, other than go to canarycrymeetups.com, look for a meetup in your area, and if there's not, do one yourselves. Reviews! Think there are some good reviews coming in. We'll read some of those on Friday, and it will make Basil go ooh, even though he's trapped in the desert with a bunch of weirdos. But he himself is a weirdo, let's be honest. But he's the Christian weirdo that's there to spread the gospel message. So yep, we'll do that on Friday. Thank you to all the reviewers who have come in so far, and hopefully we'll get more. Thank you, Jam, for the links. We appreciate that very much. And you know what? No end rant today. I'm going to go straight into the second clip from Basil from Burning Man, and then we'll call it a show. So yeah, a little bit different today with the format, but that's going to happen when I have to run things solo. So I'll see you guys later. I'll maybe mention something at the end of the show, just I think outside the cage or something like that. Maybe not. Maybe I'll do it now. Yeah, I'll do it now. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. And remember to think outside the cage.
Hey everybody, your best buddy Basil here. Tired, sore, other stuff that is like tired and sore. It is Tuesday. No, I guess it's Wednesday morning now here at Burning Man. My last message, I explained why I was not there on the Monday live show. Chances are I will not be there on the Wednesday show. However, I do have a meeting with a man who says he can help me fix the Starlink. It is not Elon Musk. However, I cannot guarantee that it is not the lizard, formerly known as Elon Musk, who has changed his skin suit. That being said, I thought I would send some reports. In addition, I want everybody to know I'm also gathering lots of content, interviews, walkthroughs, things like that, of events and speakers, influencers, I guess, lecturers, scholars here at Burning Man who, as we've talked about recently and not very recently, are very influential in ways that I think even people here at Burning Man, I would say the majority of the attendees are not very aware of. There's definitely a split in the class of people here at Burning Man. There is just sort of the general attendee, somebody looking for an experience. Apologies, there's a loud generator. I'm going to turn around. People just coming for entertainment or, I don't know, maybe their own form of some sort of secular salvation or something. However, there is another class of people, and it's very interesting, very distinct. You can tell it almost immediately. There's another class of people that are seemingly, I mean, on paper, they're lecturers, they're public speakers, they're influencers, they're things like that. But they're people who are very devoted to world change, changing the world, changing society, and not just changing laws or policies like a politician. You know, we cover a lot of politicians, and that's the big difference between Burning Man or Black Rock City and the regular society is in America we have politicians, of course around the world as well. These politicians seek to change society, humanity even, through policy, very specific policy, political action. Whereas there is a class of people here in Burning Man who specific action like that is not in their interest. They're not interested in laws. They're not interested in politics. It's this very fascinating idea where they're just literally interested in disseminating an idea. And this type of thing has been described in different ways, like a mind virus. You'll hear that a lot. That's kind of a leftist term about conservatives or Trumpism or something, is that they're infected by a mind virus. But you find that literally the same thing, the same concept is being deployed here at Burning Man. And this includes almost explicitly, 2018, 2019 was not very explicit. It was implicit, it was implied. But now, very explicitly pushing technocratic structures for society, pushing transhumanist beliefs, ideologies, and lifestyles for individual human beings. Waking Dream is the theme for this year's Burning Man, and it seemed at first, when I saw it online and was reading about it, it seemed a little vague. I mean, iRobot was very specifically transhumanist. Metamorphosis was very specifically, transforming society. And Waking Dream seemed a little ambiguous. And I'm still kind of trying to flesh out my ability to articulate what I think the message is. However, the theme of Waking Dream, this idea, it's almost like It's almost like a simulation or a Matrix type of vibe, but less, I don't know, late 90s neo-techno-punk vibe. It's more... It's almost like this biblical idea that we are simply pilgrims on this earth. And this earth isn't our home. And our true home is the kingdom. And the secularization of that idea being the core principle of this year's Burning Man theme, Waking Dream. Simply, you are dreaming, and someday you will wake up, and you will wake up into the true reality, and everything happening now is not the true reality. It's a construct built by your senses and your brain and things like this. It's very different words, very different feeling, but I do find it to be a bit of a counterfeit, as we're so used to finding in this life, and the counterfeiting of messages and spiritual truths, I guess, communicated to us long ago, being repackaged, redelivered, new coat of paint, and delivered in a very flashy way. I think that'll do it for today, folks. Like I said, I am working hard to get the live stream situation going. Hopefully, Lord willing, I will be able to be on the live stream tomorrow, which is Wednesday. And if not, then Friday. Hopefully both. But if not, I will continue to record lots of things, send them in, and then keep an eye out for lots of excellent content coming in the future. All right, here we go. Turning it off. Ugh. I'm so tired. All right, folks. This has been Basil, reporting for Canary Cry News Talk. Think outside the cage, folks. I can't wait to come home. I want to come home.
CanaryCryRadio.com/support